So I don't know. There's so much stuff going on.
Oh,
It's
absolutely. But that's an all. You look what's going on politically in your country, Uwe, and the same thing's going on here. And then you look at the absolute insanity going on in Canada. I mean, that is just nuts. They're literally now making it legal to pass so they can basically kill people who have drug problems.
yeah. I saw the redacted video. Yeah.
I was like, you got to be shitting me. So if you have an addiction in Canada, you can be put down like a dog. If
So
that,
here's one thing I want to add to that, Robert. And I'm not picking on anybody that might be. I'm not in any way, shape, or form. I want to make that clarification really clear. But it's okay for Canada to legalize marijuana, and if you're completely addicted to a drug, does that mean, for a law that's passed legally, and if they got an addiction really bad to like maybe marijuana, to just put them down? That's not human-like, in my opinion.
yeah. Well, now you understand what their true motive is, now, don't you?
Yeah, but
Yeah.
I agree. I agree to Silvio. I don't think marijuana makes addictive or is addictive. I don't think so. So
No, I don't think it is, but I do think it becomes a.
yeah, it's an entry. It's an entry for harder drugs. I agree on that
I
for
don't know
some
about
reason.
that.
But I don't think in general that it's uh,
But I don't
addictive
think
and
it's.
it's not dangerous as well.
I don't think marijuana is what they're alluding to in that law they're trying to pass. I think it's more of. I mean, Christ, they can buy hard narcotics in, I think it's British Columbia, right
British
out of a damn
Columbia,
store.
yeah, yeah, fentanyl and all that other stuff,
That's,
all that shit they can buy in British Columbia, and that's what they are looking for. But you don't even have to go that far. You just go to any doctor and say, I don't want to live anymore. I'm so depressed and I'm so feeling bad and I can't handle all the shit anymore. And he gives you the prescription and says, okay, you go to that office tomorrow and they give you a needle and you are fine. That's absolute insane. That's absolute crazy. And I'm not talking in any kind of religion way because I'm not I'm not believing in any god or whatever. But I'm talking about humanity. That you give somebody the right to go and gets paid by tax money that they can get killed, euthanized. You gotta be fucking kidding me, man. That's completely insane.
And Nabi, they deserve to die if they're addicted to chocolate. Believe it or not, some women need to have that in their diet. So I don't think that's a right thing to actually say. You would have Robert's wife actually being hounding you probably right about now, Nabi.
um, Silvio, what I think about that is none of that should have happened in the first place because that fell under attorney-client privilege. The day that happened is the day they shit all over the Constitution. Whether you agree with it or not makes no difference.
And just one more final thing, Nabi. I think you'd have a lot of women in the world basically have pitchforks at you right now if you were probably standing in one spot. But the one thing I want to say about getting back to the marijuana thing, I can't touch it. Some states they have it free and open, which I have no problem with. But when it comes to the Department of Motor Vehicles with the DOT for the trucking side, you have it in your system. You kill somebody, you're gonna get charged for murder, one way or the other.
Well, but there. Okay, let's look at that though. Realistically, how can you have something legal but yet illegal on a job if you're not doing it on the job? That's like telling you that if you drink a beer after work, that you're not allowed to do your job. Now, whether I agree with it or not makes no difference, but that's the point. Um, that's like a lot of these laws and things that they have come in. Um, it's just asinine. If it's going to be legal, then it's legal. As long as you're not doing it on the job, then what's the difference?
You make a fair point, but here's two differences between the alcohol and the marijuana. Marijuana usually will stay in your system depending upon, what it is or whatnot, will usually stay in your system for about a month. Alcohol, depending upon how much you drink, normally is out of your body after 24-hour period.
Yeah, it can
Yeah.
take a little longer, but the another thing is that you can't kill yourself with marijuana, but you can easily kill yourself with alcohol in a heartbeat. Very
Well,
fast.
that could still be debatable, Yui, because you're still smoking it, which ain't good probably for your lungs. Just like regular smoking.
Yeah, but
Get lung disease and go ahead, Yui.
that's maybe killing in the long term. But I mean, you can suicide yourself on the same day with alcohol. No problem. That's what
Right,
I mean.
right. Yeah, because you can with alcohol, you can get liver disease because of constantly drinking. If you're a very heavy alcohol drinker or a hard liquor drinker, um, regardless of how you look at it. Granted, I do agree with the long term with the marijuana. It might take a long term because maybe you might smoke 1, 2, 3 times a day. Where if you're smoking cigarettes, you could be a pack, 2 packs, 3 packs a day. You know, but even still, if you're smoking a marijuana and smoking a cigarette besides that, you're still doing the damage on a daily basis to lungs.
Yes, but like I said though, when it comes to something like that, if it's going to be legal, and if they can say, well, we can detect THC in your system, well, yeah, hey, that's fine. That doesn't mean that you're under the influence or doing it at work. Um, and I don't do the stuff, so I really don't. It doesn't affect me. But what I'm saying, I don't drink either. But in the same token, you can't legislate morality when it comes to something like that. Nor should your work be dictating what you do on your time off.
And I agree with
Um,
that, Robert. I do. But the thing is, you could out if let's say starting Sunday, someone decided to smoke a bowl, and next thing you know, come up by we'll say Wednesday, they end up killing somebody, and the person says, "Well, I smoked only a bowl on Sunday." Well, normally the ones that are arresting you, they don't care what day it was
and
or
that's
anything
part of the
else.
problem with the way that system is set up.
Exactly.
That's asinine.
Exactly.
I mean, therein lies, like I said, when it comes to a social issue, whether it be alcohol, marijuana, or whatever, the government should be not be part of that. And the same token, as long as somebody's not doing something on their job, like if I'm not drinking beer or smoking dope on the job, then it's my employer's no business of theirs, nor is it no business of the government's. Um, you cannot legislate social morality issues, and that's the problem. Is governments have gotten their hands so deep into that. That's why we have such a damn divide in this country.
Yep.
I'll be right back.
All right,
Good evening all, welcome back. Goedenavond allemaal, welkom terug. Ik ben nog even aan het opzetten, de boel.
so there's so many things I could say on that when it comes to that kind of stuff. But what people don't realize is those very same things are being used against the population. Whether you're on the left or the right, it doesn't matter.
Yep.
Hey, how you doing there, Miss Stern? Viola?
Viola.
I just think a lot of the principles that have been put into place that made this country what it was have been shit all over
Yep.
by both sides. Oh, I'm hanging in there, Viola. And I can't make a judgment of stuff. I don't do the stuff, but it doesn't make any. It doesn't make any difference. Now, what Canada doing, on the other hand, is absolutely insane.
Oh yeah.
What next? You have an allergy to something? They're gonna give you a jab and put you down for that too?
I'm not picking on your state. I am not. And I'm not picking on anybody that might use it in your state.
Michigan sucks balls. You ain't gotta tell me. I know that already.
By the time I get into Michigan, the first 8 billboards that I see going towards Detroit either have something about a dispensary here or you missed us, turn back, hit this exit. It's like throughout the whole entire state, I see nonstop billboards just for marijuana dispensaries.
Well, and the other thing too is when that first came about, it was supposed to be about how they were supposed to do the economic benefit for Michigan and all that stuff. And now you got all the big corporations coming in and driving out all the people who started and actually got all those things in place. Well, now the big corporations want to take it all over. Whether I agree with it or not makes no difference. But what's happening in the business world of it tells you exactly what their motivations are. They could give two shits whether it's a hindrance or a benefit to society. Either way, they don't care. There's so many things I could say on that just the other aspect of that, and this I will say, and I know this for a fact, that there's a lot of things to hemp, not just cannabis, but the hemp plant across the board. That for many
Dankjewel Marcel, ik zal even checken.
stuff.
Yeah,
Had they
there
saved
is.
that stuff, how many freaking pharmaceuticals would we not need? It's like giving a kid who has seizures CBD. You got
Right,
people freaking out, but yet it's the only thing they can take and control the seizures with. Unless they want to go on heavy drugs, it makes them absolutely retarded.
right.
Quite literally. And quite literally. How many things could have been come from that over the past, I don't know, how many things could have been come from that over that we wouldn't have needed the big pharmaceutical companies for?
Right.
So that's another aspect of all this shit that people don't seem to understand, that there isn't a side when it comes down to this. Us little people don't mean shit when it comes to it.
Right.
Thank you Marcel. You can now type on Twitch as well. It was on emote only. And yeah, now it's not.
Well, I think the across the population thing is they treat everybody like that who isn't them. And Red say,
Right.
well, who's they? Well, that's the people who run all this shit.
Exactly. They think they know better when they don't know jack diddly crap.
Well, they know better. They know what fills their pockets.
Yep.
I'm not sure, love. I don't know. I think Colorado, yeah, it could be. But in the same token, you look what they've done with it. Instead of it being used in ways that could actually benefit society in many ways, what do
That is on their side.
they've turned it into
there
the next alcohol, something that they can tax the holy shit out of. That's the only reason these governments passed it, because they'll put on extra taxes and people accept it, just like they do alcohol. Call it the
Yeah,
sin
Lady
tax.
Tugboat, that's right too. I agree with you on that one.
Big Pharma controls very much and more than the Congress only. But then on the other side, you got to see who controls the big pharma, who is the biggest stakeholder on all these companies, and you will always find the same names: BlackRock, Vanguard, you name it. So
Yeah, there's so many things that could be touched upon when it comes to social aspects and issues of that kind of stuff. And in the same token, there's another good one. You if you went onto YouTube and said, "Hey, try this because it may stop you from getting sick," you get a strike and a heartbeat for medical misinformation.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
You
They
know,
definitely had the algorithms turned tight on that one.
well, I've noticed now that they're starting to even hit sites that are doing like the keto diets and stuff like that. They're actively hitting those now too.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm not sure, love. I'm not really sure at all. It'll take 50 years for the that to all shake out to where normalization will kick in and it becomes no longer a taboo, I guess. But there's many things and aspects of society that the government should not have had their fingers in the first place. Ooh.
But quite frankly, in my opinion, whether if you're a senator or a congressman, you shouldn't be in Washington unless it's something majorly that for a law that needs to be done. They don't need to be there.
No. This lady, believe it or not, I actually got taken down midstream on YouTube and given a strike for playing a news piece that was on YouTube
Yeah.
for the very same thing.
And if you remember, a good friend of ours, he went all balls to the wall, and I surprised they didn't take his video down.
I think a lot of that has to do with I guess who's watching.
That plays sometimes a key factor.
Oh, I know it's a big factor.
I'm really, really concerned about him. What happened? Why he's not responding to any emails or whatever? I can't believe that.
Yeah, I don't know either, Yui. I've been trying to find out, and I have not found out anything.
No, I haven't either.
I mean, even if he would be pissed off of something and saying, "Okay, I'm done with all the online stuff," he would have replied to somebody, to Sunhoney or to anybody,
Yep. There's Barry's good point right there. And that right there is absolute bullshit. And I remember that when they found all those bad ones and destroyed them and stuff like that. And they're giving people strikes for reporting on that.
But what's about the latest video from? Hey, Viola, the latest video from Redacted. This is what it's called, S40, that causes cancer and stuff, and has been in in Pfizer vaccines for I think from 1964 or 65 or something.
I don't know. I haven't watched that, Uva.
Yeah, you should have watched it.
You know, the way how I'm thinking how a lot of this is, where channels are striking and everything else. Now, if you kind of remember back, well, probably be about a few years ago, how they're trying to wipe a lot of things off of the internet when it comes to like documents of Congress of how things progressed over the years, how Democrats were against slavery and a lot of other things and all that other stuff. I think mainly that is what's almost still happening. Strike people from having their videos on there so that they can wipe clean any of this stuff to hide it up. Because we know by talking towards each other, whether a neighbor or whoever it may be, of what's really truly going on or what the neighbor is going through, why they lost their life. It's basically trying to wipe it clean so it's non-existent. To not think people, it's like, oh well, oh maybe you should go get the jab. Are you kidding? Don't you like read the news or anything, or hear the news, or listen to somebody that's had a bad jab for any reason, and they're just like, well, I don't know, I'm too busy. Well, maybe you should learn to like listen in and follow what's going on in your country.
Well, that's another big rub to it, though. There, Gary, is that the more they can stop any negative information getting out, the harder it is for any people like us to talk some sense into people.
Exactly.
You know,
And
it's
honestly,
crazy.
what can even a misinformation do? Even if it is a misinformation, I mean, what in the hell? You can't hurt somebody or whatever with the misinformation. So what is the problem with that?
You know, at one point in time, when people would say, make your own conclusion, that's all you had to do, whether people wanted to believe your conclusion or not believe your conclusion. But that's not the case. It's like, no, this is what we say and that's it, and you're going to enjoy it. That's their conclusion.
The thing is that they have been coming out with mostly over almost everything misinformation about all the
Oh,
shit.
absolutely. That was one of my things when my last appeal. That was one of the things I think kept me from getting banned from all Google platforms. I says, well, if you're going to label what I'm saying medical misinformation, what about all these mainstream news stations that started out telling everybody that the vaccine will stop the COVID, it'll keep you from getting sick and all that stuff? I says, you can't tell me that all that stuff isn't true, because it absolutely is, and they did do that. But yet you guys don't do a damn thing about that. But you're going to take me down for trying to take and tell people the truth. I says, I wonder how that'd play out in court. And I'm still kicking that idea around.
And when that was happening, like I mentioned to you, Robert, bring both barrels. Don't just bring one. Bring it all. Because then they got to sit there and decipher everything over that and finally come to a conclusion and say, you know what? Unfortunately, he was right, and we got to reinstate. Otherwise, you see a lot of news that's aired on YouTube should be taken down strictly, just not because of one small individual, but all the news companies should have their videos all taken down.
Yep. But in the same token, that goes back down to this: Are we going to take and are we going to limit ourselves and start limiting freedom of speech, or are we actually going to teach people to take and learn a little bit of critical thinking?
I would hope people would start using more critical thinking than anything.
Well, there's been lies all throughout history. How many? Let me see. What was it, back in the 20s or the 30s? They were selling uranium water because they claimed it had health benefits, and people were jumping all over it. Let's talk about the introduction of Coca-Cola and what Coca-Cola originally was.
Exactly.
There was coke in. Yeah.
And you can still polish aluminum rims with it today.
Yeah.
I mean, in the 20s or 30s, I guess nobody knew what uranium is. So that is the next point. Back in that days, I guess nobody knew what it's all about. This radioactive stuff.
Black Crow, that's kind of a gray area, because the only reason they're allowed to do the things that they do and not get sued into the Bolivian is because of the 230 protections in Congress. And under those provisions, they were supposed to not be doing, shall we say, editorializing. And what they're doing now is they're controlling the narrative, which goes against that protections. But try to get any senators or representatives with enough balls to call them out on it. Although I would think the collusion that they had with the current administration and all these big tech platforms, which was no big surprise, we all knew it 2 years prior to it. But they all talk a big talk, but no
But
action.
they never walked the walk.
That's one of those things I will say I had a problem with Jordan being Speaker of the House. He talks a big game, no action. All of them talk a
What,
big game, no action.
what, what happened to Fry TV, anyways? I haven't seen him posting any videos for at least 2 months or something.
Fry has been extremely busy. They at the radio station that he works at, they kind of let a couple people go, and so with Fry, he's had to take on more responsibility. He would say he's eaten more Z bugs to deal with that, and he's been working on a lot of his vehicles and everything else, getting them going, getting stuff done with the winter. He had a problem with his roof at one point in time that he was working on as well. So Fry has been not on really any channels whatsoever. I haven't seen Fry on probably any YouTube channels probably for months, a couple months, 3-4 months. So Fry has been really busy, but I have been keeping in contact with him, and so I know what's going on with Fry.
Finally,
Months, a
it's
couple
good
months,
to know that
3-4
he's
months.
okay. So
So
I was
Fry has
maybe
been.
thinking that he's maybe having issues or whatever. So
No, he's doing all right. He's just been extremely busy. He's been working, trying to get some parts for some of his classic trucks to get them going, and he's been having an issue with that, trying to get parts, which a lot of us are having a hard time getting parts because they're trying to eliminate parts for vehicles because it's all about that electric vehicle narrative. But he's been working on that and trying to prepare for winter, and that's what mainly he's been doing. He's just been extremely busy every single day.
Yep, you're right there, Lady Tugboat. A lot of stuff happened. Black Crow. If you're in a regular business, yes, but see, what these platforms do is they're supposed to be the next public square. That was the whole intention behind them not being able to be sued. Like in your case, if you're running your own business, yeah, absolutely. You can do whatever you want with your own business. But in this case right here, these people are giving certain government protections so that they can't be sued. Kind of like the whole with Pfizer and all these people having immunity from being sued for their stuff if their shit doesn't go right. That's not right. They don't get to have it both ways.
Or pushing the workforce development in order to push all the jabs on people with the companies.
Correct. Have a good one, Nobby.
Which under the old workforce development laws, they couldn't do that.
see ya, Nobby.
And see, like with me, I got a business. Did I have to follow under workforce development? Kind of in a way, but I'm my own employee. Am I going to make myself go get a jab? No, I'll tell the boss to go screw off.
Could you record that? I'd like to hear that conversation.
Meaning I am the boss and I would tell the boss to screw off.
I'm betting Carmen would disagree.
If somebody's in Twitch and know how to clip a video, they can definitely clip this section. I'll definitely allow it. It'll bring a good laugh.
Funny shit.
That's
But
one of the great things about Twitch.
You make a good point there, though. What they did or tried to do with the whole vaccine thing was unprecedented. And it never should have happened. It never should have been allowed. And the fact that any judges even allowed it just blows my mind. Those are the things that's another aspect that we need to have addressed that comes to this whole shit show that's been going on these past few years. What?
And I know some of the laws of the workforce development. And you know what? Before any of this took place with this jab, before any of it, a company couldn't make you do anything against your will. Nothing.
Correct.
But with the government pushing it on to the workforce development to say, no, you've got to enforce it, which they had no right by constitution wise to
Correct.
push anything on it, because the administration couldn't then hold the vaccine companies liable. If it was, they couldn't even hold the companies liable because it was pushed into law as much as they could.
And actually, there's been some court cases that have not ruled in that favor. There's been some companies who have gotten absolutely smacked because of it.
Right.
Do I feel for them? No, because if you were that dumb to do it in the first place, I guess you get what you deserve.
Right.
You should, if profit comes before morals and the safety of your employees, then you shouldn't be in the position you're in. But that seems to be lost upon society nowadays as well.
Yeah,
So,
it's what happened
and
with all
it
that
still
shit with
floors me.
the.
It still floors me how acceptance of a lot of this stuff. And people say, "Well, I don't accept it." Well, in a way, we all do. We've already learned how to self-censor ourselves. We don't say exactly what we'd like to say because the fear of censorship. I mean, granted, yes, there are a few things that in a polite society you probably shouldn't be saying. But beyond threatening people and things like that, which becomes an illegal case, that's not a freedom of speech. We don't have to, we already have things in place to take care of that. Beyond that, none of these companies nor the government should have their fingers in it. That's another one, Monsanto. I agree with you there, Black Crow. I absolutely agree with you there.
It's not only Monsanto. Then
No, it's not just Monsanto, but
then comes
it's a good
Bill.
point.
Then comes Bill Gates into the game again. He has his finger in all this bullshit.
Yeah.
So
Gates has got his fingers in too many things.
he's an expert for everything, for medical advice, for farming, for everything. He's an expert in everything. And in real, he's not even an expert in computer and IT stuff, because he's all relied on and pendant from his employees. Man, he never developed anything on his own. He is
I'll
stole.
add to that, Yui. He doesn't even have a PhD in post hole digging.
No, he stole all the stuff from his company.
Yep.
How do you know what his sexual orientation is, Gary? Tongue in cheek for any of the Twitch moderators out there.
This lady is correct.
What's that?
She said Gates is the largest farm owner in the U.S. That's what's scary.
He's the largest. He's the largest landowner, but that's about it. And we all know what he's using the land for. That you don't have it to build or to grow something.
No
All the
different
land
than China buying land across the United States.
And that, in my opinion, that should be illegal.
Well, I look at it as this when it comes to that. It's like, how much commodity do we ship over to there? Corn, possibly soybeans, everything else. And if they can cut the costs and buy the land here, they can just ship their own product. Granted, they'll have shipping costs, maybe lesser fees of transport costs, because they could probably hire their own employees for that. It goes on their boats. They don't have to worry about that. They can haul it scot-free to their country because they're running out of room.
Well, they're not running out of room. They're running out of arable land because they polluted about, 40% of their arable land isn't suitable to grow anything anymore because it's so polluted.
Yep.
Do we want that here?
Nope.
And in the same token, can we go there and do the same thing and expect the same protections? No.
Yeah, you can't
No,
buy shit.
because if you're doing something there, you got to abide under theirs, and you got to give them a cut of your profits, and they
You
can
Exactly.
can't
take your
even
intellectual property.
you can't even buy land there. I think you can rent it out, but you can't buy land.
Yeah, you can't own anything in China.
You know, so that's. I think we can thank our politicians for that one there too. That literally selling America out piece by
Yep,
piece.
and
It's
even
not
some of the
only
governors.
it's not only America, it's all over the world. Australia is 50-60% is owned by Chinese. Africa, many countries in Africa are owned by the Chinese. So it's happening everywhere.
And unrealistically, everything from, believe it or not, truck parts to everything else that we buy in the stores, that's mainly what you see. China, 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 China. Even our devices, maybe. But we can't ever say no and tell them to take your crap back. We want American made.
The thing is that our countries even lost the ability and the machining for doing all the parts on their own again, you know, because they sold even the machines from here to
Yep,
China.
yep,
Well, there's a good example though. You look at bearings or how even rotors in vehicles nowadays.
yep,
I mean, basically every time I change the brakes on my trucks, I might as well plan on changing the rotors as well.
yep.
You know, and that's nuts.
That has
I,
to
And
I certainly
not to
just
make this extremely funny, but when you spoke of rotors, if I put a set of rotors on Carmen's car, don't even think they're going to last 8 months because she's got them burned up and warped after 8 months. I
that's the
got to always replace them.
same with Paula.
right.
But you should have talked to your wives, man, with their driving style. You know that is not normal. Even if it's
Uva,
cracked rods,
she's sitting right here. Trust me, there's no talking to her about her driving style.
Yeah, because
Paula,
it seems like most women have lead foot on that right side for some odd reason, and I can't ever seem to get that lead out of Carmen's foot.
take that foot off the fucking brake pedal, Paula. What the hell? Let it roll, for Christ's sake.
I think I'd almost have to buy $500 rotor racing rotors just in order to keep a set of rotors on there for at least 2 good brakes.
What the hell, man? You know what? My car is 11 years old and has 250,000 kilometers on the clock, which is about whatever, 160, 170,000 miles. And the rotors got changed once.
Oh, trust me, Gerald, I do brake rotors really well. And believe it or not, it just needs some American-made material, not this China-made material that just, the chemistry in that material is junk. If I probably took a brand new rotor and slammed it down on the concrete a couple times, I'd probably break it with one drop. I've done it even with chisels. One hit, boom. Looked at it, made in China. Poor chemistry. There's just no quality in the material that we get from there.
That was like 5 years ago. There was a bunch of rebar shipped in that you literally was so brittle that if you dropped a piece sideways, it would snap in half.
That's not surprising.
But the next question is, how many buildings did that shit go into and people don't know it?
Exactly.
For roads.
You doing, Chaplain?
Hey, Chaplain.
No, you're not the only one, Chaplain.
That's
No, it's
the
like-
best brake parts you can get here is Brembo.
And you know, just for giggles, I've had my truck since 2015, 2016, and I just changed the brakes probably just last year. But you also got to realize with my truck, I pull a camper, I push a snowplow, I pull a gooseneck trailer. So for that length of a time that I've had my truck, that long before I had to replace the brakes, was pretty good. Carmen, almost every single year.
Yeah, she just have to change the pedals. She have to use
Right.
the right pedal a little bit more than the left one. You know, that's a simple thing.
Put a governor on the accelerator pedal.
Holy shit, man! Every 8 months, you gotta be kidding me. That's insane.
Yep.
Yeah, if they ain't smoking, they ain't working.
That's right.
What the hell?
I wish I would say that jokingly, but I'm not.
Well, you could put it as this: if they're not going fast, you're not burning money.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, when I couldn't see, I'll tell you what, I love my wife to death, but I don't make a good rider with her driving.
And sometimes I gotta grab the old crap bars.
Paula, you need to come to Germany for a couple of days to go on
No,
the auto
no,
to
no,
go
no,
on the
no.
go on the autobahn, then you learn how to let the fucking brake pedal off. You know, just
That's
leave
the
it
only
alone.
problem, Uwe. She could just go that much faster and then slam on the brakes.
Well, just let her go across Nebraska when it gets past Omaha. She can hit it all the way down 80, 75 miles an hour until she finally comes into the next state. That's when she's got to start slowing down.
It's like if you have a mile in between, she's in the race to get to that next stop sign.
Not that.
It's like, oh, turn.
Robert, she hasn't been watching NASCAR, has she, all that much? Because that's probably a good part of it. Because sometimes I wonder with states that got big racetracks if that's where they picked that up from.
Hey, I actually grew up watching that.
Gerald, I learned my lesson. I don't comment on her dear wife's driving. That'll probably instantly get him a stink eye. Hi, Toss. Just for that, I probably got a stink eye myself. We'll have to make sure to add that in my next live stream. 2 stink eyes.
Yeah. And this lady's got a Talladega. Here I come.
Yep.
Yep. A mega track.
It's not about the, it's not
Go
about
ahead,
the
Huey.
fast driving. It's not about the fast driving. It's about the smooth driving. You know, you just got to let it roll. You know, anticipate the traffic and don't brake and accelerate all the time. That's bad for everything in the car. You know,
Uva,
for
you're
all the
making too much sense here. Come on now.
joints and all that stuff. You know.
If they wouldn't have so many stop signs, I wouldn't have to stop.
Lord help us if they ever drive a semi.
Then you got to drive like salty. You know, just don't take every stop sign or red light to stop. You know, just
Yeah.
once in a while you just drive over. Fuck that.
To the doghouse I went.
Leave that open.
165. I think that you got to get arrested for that stuff in some states, don't you? Holy shit, man!
Oh, yeah. You get your license pulled right away for doing that.
I mean 165. That's That's nearly 240 kilometers an hour, man. Fucking hell.
And his wife has a hissy fit when all of a sudden he's doing that in something else, except maybe doing 300 miles an hour.
I can tell you, man, when we were in the US, I mean, it's 20 years ago, but I guarantee you, I didn't go 1 mile faster than allowed. Because I was definitely not looking forward to argue with any cops over there. So, and especially in the desert, you don't even see them in behind any bushes or cactus or whatever. So we never drove anything faster than allowed. Here it's different story. If there's a sign with saying 120, I go 130, 140, no problem. But over there, I would never do that, and I never do that in any foreign European country as well. I always go by the by the limits. I don't argue with any foreign cops.
That's true, Dish Lady. The pitch on that actual track is insane. You can't actually walk up the pitches on the turns at Talladega. That is true. There's a huge pitch in that track.
Let's see what that dum-dum's doing.
Which dum-dum, the blonde?
No, the other one.
You definitely don't go 325 miles an hour. No way. You don't have a rocket on your fucking car, I believe.
And I don't remember what the pitch is actually for Talladega. I think it was like 20 some degrees, 27, 30 some degrees.
It makes fun to go fast, but only if it's free, if there's no traffic. If there's
Yeah.
traffic, then it's really, really, really dangerous, and you have to be concentrated so hard. It's exhausting. If you go more than 200 kilometers an hour for 30 minutes, you are so exhausted if there is traffic on the right side. That's just insane. And here you are not allowed to overtake on the right side. You have to overtake on the left. So it's not allowed to overtake on the right side. So that can be getting really, really, really dangerous. There's so many idiots on the roads here that you wouldn't believe it.
Yeah, that's true, Lynn. I need to find something stronger than bubble wrap, Gerald. Gerald said blew up a BMW on the Autobahn back in 03.
Oh, there's some areas here there is still no limit, and if you have a real fast car and you drive there on the right time, like around Frankfurt, there's an area with a 4-lane autobahn, and on the Sundays there's no traffic, and I can tell you there are people, they're only going even from here. That's about 200 kilometers from here. They're just driving around to Frankfurt with their motorbikes or with their cars to go on the autobahn there and go on the limit, just for the fun. But over the week, there's not many spots left where you can really go fast because the traffic here is insane. If you've never seen that, the traffic here with thousands of trucks on the right side, you wouldn't believe it.
You know, that's why many reasons why, like, I check out other channels with, trucking. And like today, I seen in the UK there one channel, they drive on the opposite side of the road. So we're always saying you're driving on the wrong side of the road, but
Yeah,
to see how the traffic there, and today he ended up having to park his truck because of some construction area that was going on. And it was just like, man, I'm glad we're not the only country that has issues like that. There's definitely other countries around the world that have probably the same issues. Stupid construction areas or poor planning of how they're doing it, and just how it messes everything up in everybody's life.
yeah. And in the UK, they have extremely high trailers. That's they're not even. You would not even go here on the autobahns because some bridges you wouldn't even fit under. So I don't know. They have different limits over there than here.
Yeah. There, they've got like 15-foot high trailers, where here, the max we can have is like 13.6. And a lot of those trailers are double deckers. I mean, they're putting product on there. So, I mean, there's a huge difference when it comes to countries.
Yeah. Oh yeah, the BMW 325. That was a nice car. But even back in the 80s, the 323i, that was a great car. It was a six-cylinder. It was a awesome car. Hey, Miss Stern.
I'll be right back a minute. You guys can talk to the wife for a second. Have you fed them guys yet?
I did.
And that's why a lot of times I usually like to, try to find other channels in Twitch that, where they're at, like Belgium, the UK, Germany, for that matter, if there's some there, and just see, what they go through. And their hours of service is different in Belgium area compared to the UK, compared to us here in the States.
Yeah. But here, the most of the truckers here, they are going all over the place. They go in Germany, Belgium, Netherlands,
Yep.
Poland. That here it's what you do if you go from Wisconsin to down to whatever Indiana, then here you are in Poland or in Italy or wherever. That's the same
Wow.
stuff. As myself, I'm pretty much in the middle of Germany, so I have about, let's say, hey Aussie, I have about 5 hours to the Poland border, 4 hours to the Czech border, 1.5 hours to the Netherlands border, 2 hours to the Belgian border. So, and even to France, I think France maybe 4 hours. Been in France from
Right.
here. So, and everybody has to go through Germany. It doesn't matter where they come from Scandinavia or from Spain, wherever. They all go through Germany.
Hello, Aussie, get them channel points.
Hello, Aussie. Or should we say love guru?
Love Guru, yeah. She was probably asleep. I sent her the message 2 hours ago that Robert is live, but she probably was asleep.
Yeah, go ahead. What's he doing? All right.
How is the weather in Alaska, by the way, Mr. And you have snow already, or?
I've heard of people had snow in Alaska.
A couple weeks are calling for us for there, Gary.
20 degrees. That's 20. 20 is below zero, is it? I think 36 is 0 Celsius, right?
32 degrees here is below freezing in a way. I'll be
All
back.
right. So she's below zero then. Snowed a little bit, yeah. I thought that.
Oh, no big cliff notes there, Aussie. We're just talking about censorship and the current state of things. Kind of just an open chat. Gerald, you have a good one.
Take care, Gary. Gerald. So hopefully you have enough wood for the winter then, Miss Stern, to keep the house warm.
Yeah, another person that I talked to last night, they said that they had snow in Calgary, Alberta. So it's slowly coming across little by little.
And the
I
claim
have
is long term, we're supposed to have higher than normal temperatures for the winter, which means we'll probably be asshole deep in snow all winter.
Right.
I have a German van life channel, and they are now in the US. But about 5 weeks ago, they've been up, or 6 weeks ago, they've been up in the Yukon area and in Northern Territory in Canada on the Arctic Ocean, and they had even 6 weeks ago it was freezing there at night. So you can imagine how cold it gets there. Fuck sakes.
You know, I've heard reports that, well, based off just being up north, I mean, it was like warmer temperatures than what we normally have. And then, you know, the way the trees have been progressing, how the plants have been growing, how nature just has been producing it's by itself this year. I figured, you know, with the late warm temperatures we got, we're going to have an El Nino. I've had a couple people say, yeah, we're supposed to have warmer than average temperatures this year. We're probably looking at an El Nino. Now, for some of those that are down in the south, they're forecasting that they're going to have the much colder weather. So maybe it's actually going to be true. Maybe this time, maybe the southern states will get the cold freeze and we'll be almost like in 50 degrees and shorts and everything else up here.
Yeah, I doubt that very much.
Right.
Yeah, it is, Miss Stern. That's right. It's like insulation.
Yeah, that does make a difference. Makes a pretty big difference. You don't have snow cover, it can freeze pretty quick, pretty deep down too.
Yep. And it'll actually hurt farmers' fields if they don't actually have a snow cover to protect like the alfalfa and all that other stuff, or even the winter wheat.
Yeah, especially if you get down to minus 30, minus 40 degrees, man. I mean, then it's getting really, really insane.
What were we talking about on Cactus's channel that we were going to talk about there, Gary?
So with Twitch, um, there's a lot of things that are good about Twitch and bad about YouTube. I don't know if Cactus is actually still on here yet, or if she ended up probably just. Oh, gotcha. And unfortunately, I don't think you don't have yours unpublished. I don't think for this live stream.
No, I don't.
Unless
I don't
you go
publish
back
anything.
in and change it.
Not
Copy
no more.
that.
Not since I found out what's going on here with the legal stuff. I don't leave anything extra.
Right.
I
But
think you
yeah,
understand why.
Yeah, we'll probably have to redo it or have when Cactus comes back, because then this way she'll actually know what's going on. And I don't know if you're also streaming to YouTube or not. Probably not.
No, absolutely not. Hell no. We'd have been done shut down if we'd been on YouTube.
All right. But we'll have to discuss it more later on when she's actually around, and or otherwise Zero or I will have to get in contact with her and kind of explain it. But me and Zero, we're planning on doing a live stream coming up sometime, maybe within the next few months here, on getting Twitch or getting it started and everything you got to go about it. We did get affiliated through Twitch. So shortly after you got affiliated, then we finally got affiliated. For the last 3-4 months, we were missing the affiliation mark just by a few digits on, I don't remember if it what it was exactly on the analytics part, but we finally did get affiliated. So that's why a lot of people will probably see the ads now in our live streams. And so that's how we are actually getting paid from Twitch, which it's, if you do good, you can get paid pretty well. Where with YouTube, they just kind of strangle you along as much as they can, but they're making money off of you one way or the other. They're benefiting, but you're not benefiting. Where like with Twitch, they actually kind of care a little bit about your stream, but if you're under a certain amount, like a $50 amount, they're going to wait till you get maybe past that $50 to actually pay you out for their videos.
Yeah. No, I never went down that road because I suspect at some point in time I'd probably cross their line anyway. So, well,
Because
that's why
like
I
with,
said YouTube has their medical and stuff like that, whereas Twitch, like I said, if you were to have a discussion on the LGBT stuff and what's going on in schools and stuff, they'll be all over you.
oh, okay.
They are very much pro that.
Right. But yeah, I know that it's been floating around on a few channels that they were thinking about Kick, because I just heard a video not too long ago, the difference between Kick and Twitch and with YouTube, and the pros and cons between them all are three. But I mean, all of them got their pros and cons, regardless how you look at it.
Oh yeah. Sure.
And a lot of people with Kick, I mean, granted, it was that, if you remember correctly, when we did a live stream or a panel discussion last winter, we were already trying to get Kick accounts, but they had that where it all of a sudden had a different stream key all the time. So it's like, yeah, not really, even though it would have been beneficial because there wasn't many people there to get more subscribers quickly or followers quickly, however it runs over there. But with me, that was a deal breaker of always having to sit there and put a new pass stream key in there all the time, and it wasn't worth my time. So apparently now they started to figure that out, and supposedly, as far as I know, they got that fixed. So I don't know. We'll just have to basically kind of wait and see on that one.
Well, the other thing that comes into play here is with all these laws changing, this next year is going to, shall we say, be the shakeup of online platforms, because if they're going to be in places where, well, if it's in Canada or if it's in the EU or a couple other places, they have to have things in place to where they can monitor and censor the platforms, including up to private messages as such.
Yeah,
So
that could be.
it isn't going to. I think a lot of these platforms, that's going to determine which way all this stuff goes, because if they're going to take and be into people's private conversations and things like that beyond normal public stuff, then it becomes a useless platform.
Right.
If you can't communicate people into an honest way, forget it.
Right. And see, like for me, the people, it's with Twitch, it's to me, it's a completely different atmosphere. Many
Yeah.
channels in Twitch are so open to kind of help you if you ask them. Where
yeah, for sure.
YouTube, it's like everyone's got their obtusity, and basically, it's like, well, I ain't giving my trade secrets out, and you figure it out on your own, So it's like that. And we had a channel that helped us, which we're still kind of working out some bugs on it yet, which there's always bugs when it comes to live streaming. To have an actual chat bot say the chat while we're going down the highway. It does work, but I'm just having the technical problem where trying to get a Bluetooth device to actually say the chat or connect it to the semi, which I did have it one day, but when you go down the highway, it just doesn't want to work for some odd reason. But to actually help us so that we don't have to sit there and take time taking our focus off the road and have something that's more safer. So that's one of the great things with people on Twitch is they're willing to help you to make your stream better compared to like other streams. It's just like you don't get that support. So
No, I
we
agree
feel
with
really,
that I agree
we
with you
feel,
wholeheartedly.
so with Twitch, I mean, we're glad to be on Twitch. We've been really focusing more on Twitch, a little bit less on YouTube because the simple fact is, I mean, if you think about it with what I do with trucking, how many people are doing trucking live streams all on YouTube? There's tons of them. Whether if it's local driving, yard driving, or long haul, short haul, LTLs, all that stuff, there's plenty of people on there. Where on Twitch, there's probably a small handful of people, and we've gotten more followers in a short time being on Twitch than in anything. I'm probably going to almost hit 1K by maybe before the end of the month or the beginning of the month. And that's almost under a year.
Yep.
And with YouTube, it ended up being dang near almost to a year to the exact before we remotely hit 1K. So there's definitely a lot of great benefits to Twitch. And I mean, granted, it's a lot more work than YouTube. You can make your own emotes. You can do sound bites. You can have extra extensions on there. You can do geographical extensions to see where all your viewers are at around the world. It's just phenomenal how much Twitch you can use to incorporate on your live stream. We've got people all over the world watching us and going into channels, and people, believe it or not, when they see your name in there, it's like, oh, wait, who's this? Next thing you know, it's like you see them in your channel either a day or two later. So, I mean, it's so much easier to get your name out there and grab followers in Twitch. It's just unbelievable.
To an extent. For you, that's okay. For me, I've seen
Welcome to my dad's
like a couple other
YouTube
channels that I've
channel.
watched on here. If you're doing anything
Interstate
political
travel.
or anything like that,
Some of you probably
there is a
are
lot more
still
what I would
sleeping yet,
consider,
which is fine. But the rest of you, hopefully, you all had a great day.
on the dole for causing problems for streams.
Right.
I've already seen one political channel that had tens of thousands of viewers taken down just this last week here.
Mm-hmm.
So, and they are very much left oriented on Twitch.
Right.
That's the only caveat to that. If you have to keep that in mind.
The funny thing is, since you brought that up, I found one channel where you've got, believe it or not, it's an AI. You type into chat, and some way or somehow it incorporates into the live stream. You got Donald Trump on one side, you got Biden on the other side, like they're doing a debate. And it can be funny, but the other point is of that, it's like, okay, when would that channel probably be targeted because of, an AI, typing into the chat saying like at Donald Trump or at Joe Biden, and he's also acknowledging what you wrote in there, and it's just like, when will that channel probably be, attacked because of something similar to that? I don't know.
Well, like I said, my thoughts is there's a lot of things that I find on Twitch that are better than YouTube for sure.
Right.
But there's also things that I find on here that are as bad, if not worse. I see
Right.
far more what I would consider paid trolls on Twitch than I ever seen on YouTube.
Yeah, because we have one mod in there that she did follow us on YouTube, but she's been on Twitch, and she comes in every so often. Um, she's a great mod. She knows exactly the people that need to be targeted out or blocked on our channel in Twitch, and I mean, I tell her go to town, clean house, and she does a great job. She knows what she's looking for, and basically she'll block them, if they're a bot or something else of that nature. She's
Yep.
right at it, and she's marvelous at what she does. So I mean, it's like I just tell her go to town, clean house, and she does.
Yes, love. There are actually people who are paid to go and stir dissent online, believe it or not.
And the other thing too, now with Twitch, they just made something new. If you get blocked, they block you out completely from the entire stream. You don't even get to see the stream. So you get blocked now, you don't even get to see the stream. You might not be able to chat. You don't even get to see the video or the live stream. That's how much more enforced they got on Twitch, which is kind of a good thing. I wish the other platform would do that, but that doesn't happen.
No. And frankly, YouTube has too many employees that are active in that stuff as well. So
Yep. They don't like your stuff, boom. There's a channel strike.
yeah, absolutely salty. I know of at least one on here who is from another country, and I know of probably a dozen who are from well, they claim they're from the States, but a few of them I don't think they are, but they are actually, in my opinion, probably paid just to go in and stir shit up in chats. Especially if it's not conforming to their accepted narrative.
And another great thing about Twitch, they also made it now like if you follow other channels and you want to share your block list with that channel, you can absolutely do it. Now, YouTube, on the other hand, you don't get that option. But another great thing about Twitch is like if a mod does something to a person, you will find out. All you got to do is look at the mod status. You will see everything.
Welcome people on Trovo and all the other platforms. We are listening in and I might join in depending on the topic. But it is interesting and you can join as well if you like. Let me know.
What they're looking for.
Well, that's the biggest thing, that a problem with YouTube. You couldn't track what was exactly going on. And then the other thing is, which I agree with the Twitch, if you block somebody from a channel, they should not even be able to go into the channel.
Yep.
But that's not that hard to get around, truthfully. But it is a step in the right direction.
Correct. Yeah, because I mean, they can come back and make another name, which, that does happen because they got probably butthurt over it. But, like I have always said in previous panel discussions, if I said something that was meaningful, that was probably well deserved, I'm not going to turn around and make another name because chances are I deserved it.
Honestly, I've never ever even thought about getting a new name or whatever.
No, I haven't either. That's one thing that if I come in and it says me, it'll be me, unless someone's cloning my accounts, which I have had happen.
And the other thing is, I'm just getting too old for all that crap. Like I said, if I get blocked, it's probably because I just told the truth. They didn't like it, and I got blocked. So I leave it as that.
Yeah, and that's fine when it comes to stuff that's meaningless. Um, what happens when it comes to the point to where it actually becomes something that's meaningful?
Right.
Um, I can see that day coming quite quickly. Because I'm of the opinion, it's just like us sitting here talking. Um, we should be able to sit here and discuss things in an adult manner about topics that are pertinent to everybody. Now, whether someone's pro or against becomes irrelevant as long as you're doing it in a manner that's respectful and in a way that can be done. But see, they don't want that.
Yep.
That's like me trying to tell everybody, I don't care what side you're on. If you think what's going on is going to be helpful to you, you're sadly mistaken. But see, they don't want that kind of message being put out.
And for most of the channels that I do see, because you can usually set it up, before someone comes into the room, and it's like, okay, here's the rules. So you can click it to be on, you can click it to be off. But most channels that I came in there, usually the first two that stick out, no religion talk, and no racism. There's probably another third one in there that could probably be in there, or no politics. Well, you know what? For me, everything that our government does that gives us the regulations of things, unfortunately, that has to be politic talk. So, it happens. Whether people like it or not, I mean, we've had some really good discussions in chat. And
Oh,
there's
yeah.
been some that's just like, oh man, why did we always get into something like this? But you know what? For the realization of it, it don't matter if it's trucking or you're an employee or whatever else it may is. We are governed by laws. We're a nation of laws, whatever country you are in.
Well, we're supposed to be anyway.
Exactly. I mean, in a way, there should be a law that women can't push their foot down so hard on the brake, but that's not going to happen. Sorry, Paula.
Come on, there, Gary. You're trying to push a social issue again now. What's the deal?
Why do you think I said sorry, Paula?
Yeah, I guess it was not political correct these days anymore. You can't say that. So that
Right.
was political not correct. We are in new times, so we have to think about every fucking word we say.
Right. But
Yeah,
I mean,
there's
between just from what I've seen between the two platforms, I mean, a lot of people when we first started on YouTube, they was like, "Oh, this is relaxing and everything else," And next thing you know, I have one mod, and we finally figured it out who it was, and brought it up to them and gave us a totally different story, but the evidence was all there. And ruined our channel basically because we were growing pretty good on YouTube, and now it's like we grab people maybe here and there because one mod destroyed people from wanting to come and watch the channel. So it was like, you know what? We're going to just stream every so often on YouTube, and we're going to focus more on Kick because Kick has got way more to offer. It's a better, in my opinion, a better community, and people are willing to help you. And that's one of the greatest things that I've seen being there on Twitch.
Yeah, and I agree with you on that. But in the same caveat, like I said, is that no matter what you're looking at, there's pluses and minuses to every platform. Now, if if Twitch was to take, say, the mindset of like Rumble, where unless you're threatening somebody, your content is fine.
Right.
Then I'd be all in for Twitch, but they're not. As I said, I've already been emailed once about one of my panels.
Right.
Which anybody that knows me, I don't think anything I've said on any of these panels is controversial nor not true. I can't help if it hurts someone's fees. But if you don't like the truth, that's just too damn bad.
Mm-hmm.
That's my only caveat when it comes to that. But what do you do?
Right.
We're in an age now where it isn't just having these discussions it becomes a problem. It's whether or not you're going to even have it. And like in myself, I've got to be careful until I know what's going to happen because of legal reasons.
Right.
And that's insane. And trying to get it across to people that there's much more to it than just what we see on the surface. If these laws that are being proliferated in other countries are to become, well, they don't even have to become ubiquitous, because what they're going to do is they're going to fracture this communication. I can see very in the near future that anything like, if I have these panels, you won't be able to get to them from Canada or beyond them,
Right.
or the EU. Okay,
Because they'll be
so
blocked in those countries.
exactly. And Twitch, if they say, well, you can't have this on your platform, you can't do this, you can't do that, is Twitch going to step up to the bat and tell the EU to go get bent? I doubt it.
Right.
That's what we're looking at now in society when it comes to all of our countries, no matter which one we're in. So to me, it's getting people. I don't care what you're on, what you're doing. It's getting the idea that we got to get rid of this paradigm that everybody thinks that social issues or things like this should be dictated from a governmental standpoint. But in the same token, we've also got to get back to reality of things. And if these companies aren't going to do that and aren't going to stand back, then we ain't got a snowball's chance in hell.
Right.
As much as I see people shit on Elon, I got to hand it to the guy. At least he's got enough balls to stand up.
Right.
You ain't going to tell me that about Facebook or YouTube. And I don't know about Twitch. I don't know what they're going to do. I don't know where they stand on when it comes to that yet. We'll see.
Well, the one great thing why so many people hate Elon is because of the fact is when he released all that information when he took over Twitter, he basically literally threw YouTube, Facebook, and any other platform underneath the bus that was hiding all this information that he was releasing just from his company that he just recently bought. That's why people hate Elon.
Well, but in the same token, why hasn't our legal systems went after these other companies already?
Right.
Because in this country, what they did was illegal. Why ain't they sitting in jail?
Right.
I mean, I'll give you for an example, and I don't know what. Shit, give me a second. Damn, his name will come to me in just a second.
But in another way, while you're thinking of that, Robert, basically the other companies like Facebook and all the other ones, YouTube, they were basically had the politicians down on their knees and basically giving it to them dry. That's what it was.
Yeah. A point that I'd want to make out, whether people have anything to do with him or not, would be Alex Jones. Now, what they're doing to him legally because of his platforms and stuff being booted off all the mainstream platforms.
Right.
They're now not allowing him, because he got sued, for an absurd amount of money. So he files for bankruptcy, but yet they're not going to allow him the bankruptcy protections like they would any other corporation.
Yep.
So is that the road we're going to head down now, where the judicial system becomes a matter of, shall we say, dictating who's able to be under the corporate protections and who's not? If that's the case, then why is YouTube still going then?
Right.
Why is Facebook still going? Why is Twitch still going? Because it falls under the same thing. And people like you, that should scare the shit out of you.
Right.
Because if they're going to remove his corporate protections to take and go through with that, you might as well say his business, his company is over. He won't be able to
Right.
do business anymore. Which I think they really like to do to Trump as well.
Right.
Those are the things that I think are important for people to understand what they're doing. But as I said, when it comes to the point to where we are unable to address any of those things, it's game over. Forget it.
Right.
But that's what I said earlier. If even if he's talking completely bullshit, why what the hell you can charge him on, or what the hell he's guilty on, even if he's talking lies and bullshit. Let him talk, and who is listen to it and want to listen to it, and if not, turn it off. So, but why in the hell you can go after somebody who is telling his view of whatever is going on? That's absolute insane.
But that's where where your opinion doesn't seem to matter, because you were under a different political party affiliation. With the power of that's in DC right now, it's like, oh, well, your opinion don't count. We're gonna hold that against you. But the other side can talk all the crap they want, and the evidence is there for everything that they've done. But oh, that's politics.
Yeah, I'm not even somebody who is following or listen to him. And I said it before. I just saw a few clips of him, and he was talking a lot of bullshit that never came as well, that never got through. But I don't care. I don't listen to him, and whatever. And how can you charge him a fucking $1 billion? I mean, what the fuck? That is absolute insane.
Well, but that's the point there, Uwe, is why should it be that way? That there's no way that what's going on with him should be happening. That's that Silva that was in here earlier. Same thing I was trying to explain there. With what's going on with Trump and them, that should not be happening. And I don't think people realize the precedence that kind of shit's going to set. Now you no longer, if everything goes through and what they've done to Trump and these people that they claim are jumping ship, I'm not sure. I guarantee you they've got a plan going on there for something. But you have Ellis and another one that were high up in that they claim, they're going state's evidence where they're not really. I mean, they threatened her law license and everything, and decades of years in jail. And then when they decide to say, well, I'll plead guilty and testify against Trump, they give them a minimal fine and probation. Okay, that's not law, or is that justice? And if you're going to have where you're going to have attorneys that are going to end up being charged for the person that's being charged on top of it, how are you ever going to go to court and be represented by an attorney if they're afraid of getting charged themselves for representing?
And let's say the election goes the way we want it to. Is the attorney general going to have his law license suspended, his bar's license suspended? I highly doubt it. Oh, he's just a politician. For all the crap that he allowed to go through as attorney general, Merrick Garland.
Well, and that's the thing. Is that the kind of government we're going to go into now, where it becomes whatever party happens to be in power, they're going after the rest of the other people on every legal absurdity they can.
Funny as it is, because, before he left office, if you remember this, people were sitting there saying, oh, is he going to pardon himself? He's going to pardon himself. But then all of a sudden, Pelosi and all that made into law the 25th Amendment. Do you remember that?
Yep.
And now all of a sudden, because of this buffoon who dresses up in a monkey suit, doesn't know what day it is or where he's at or anything else for that nature, you would think they'd incorporate that 25th Amendment, but they don't. Why? Oh, well, that's just Joe. Well, Joe can go sit in the garbage dump and figure out where it's hidden.
Yeah, and I agree with you there, Chaplain. Absolutely. But that's what I'm saying is I don't think people quite understand what they're trying to normalize, not in just this country, but many countries. I know the same shit's going on over there in Uwe's country. All of a sudden, if they don't like your politics or whatever, you're going to be unable to defend yourself in court, even if it's bullshit. Or you might
like I
went online
previously said,
and hurt someone's feces because you didn't use the proper pronoun, which in this state can get you 5 years in jail and $10,000 fine now. Wrap your mind around that for a second. If you call somebody by the wrong gender in the state of Michigan now, you literally can be charged a $5,000 fine and 10 years in jail.
You know what? Here's the funny part. They put that person in jail, and the one that had got their butt hurt because they got called the wrong pronoun, they should realize that by putting you or whoever in jail, not to mention the roads are already crap in Michigan anyway, that's less taxpayer money for the state if you think about it. But the taxpayer money is now going for you while you're sitting in jail or prison.
Yeah. But trying to get that across to people on either side of the fence, that allowing that to happen, what they don't understand is the precedent set is going to turn around and bite them in the ass as well.
Actually, if it's ever enforced in government.
Actually, Lady Tugboat, according to the Constitution, if they break their oath of office, they're supposed to be charged criminally. But see, that never happens, nor is it used, because the political class ain't going to allow it. If we had some representatives in Congress right now that actually had some balls, all this shit would have stopped long ago. So,
yeah, I do have to agree too with Lady Tugboat, because you know what? From day one, when all those politicians took an oath in office, every single one of them that always said, I'm here to obtain the Constitution of the United States, but then all of a sudden they're sitting on it or burning it one way or other or tearing a piece off of it. They all should be out of office.
The very things that are going on right now are the reasons that, for example, for the presidential protections are. That's the only reason Biden's still in office. Is so they can't be influenced by, threat of prosecution. But yet we have the Republicans on this side who sit on their hands, talk a big game, and don't do squat. Because as I said, none of this shit should be going on.
No, it shouldn't be, but we got a president an ex-president that should have been president that's having it happen to him every single day of the week.
Yep. And go ahead, Uba.
honestly, I would say Biden has to be locked up as well, but in a different facility where he gets a freaking jacket making clothes on the other side, on the back, because that guy who doesn't even know his own name or where he is or whatever, it's it's a fucking it's a danger to let that guy in a position like he is. It's absolute insane.
Yep. Yeah, for sure,
Every
Jeff.
we- ev- every week comes another slapstick on the scene. It's absolute insane. And then they coming up with the bullshit he gonna go for the next election as well. So you gotta be fucking kidding me, man.
Well, I said this year coming up is going to get real interesting because I think they're going to do everything they can do to include war. I really
Yep.
think they're going to throw us in the war to try and keep everything they can do from Trump becoming next president. And as I said, whether people agree with him or not is irrelevant because if you think what's going on is acceptable, you aren't paying attention. Um, yeah, you're absolutely right, Barry.
Yeah, none of these politicians are the real power person. But still, this is not even funny anymore. What that guy is acting like and doing. It's absolute insane.
And it just amazes me the shit that comes out of some of these politicians' mouths. That, well, for example, now what are they going to do with all these people that went and overtook the house there over these protests with Hamas and Israel? Are they going to put these people in jail for the next 6 years? Are they going to charge him with insurrection as well? Not a peep out of them.
No, but when they did have the convoy in Canada there, they did definitely do that with them. A lot of them. Maybe not with insurrection, but they did definitely put some of those people away. And some of the stipulations for them to get out is they couldn't do any live streaming, be any part of any kind of convoy or gathering, or for that matter.
Yep.
But though we got people sitting in D.C. there that might have not even went into the building, and they got charged as well.
Well, as I was telling you, that one person that was running for the governorship here in Michigan, he was down there, and he never went into the building either. He was only outside down there at Trump's rally or Trump's speech, and they put him in jail here in Michigan.
Unreal.
That's what people understand is now they're using the political system through the judiciary to go after political opponents. Yeah, and in Canada now, Barry, and soon to be here in the States because they're trying to pass that as well, is if you're convicted of or suspected of quote unquote domestic terrorism, because now if you're just a Trump supporter, you can be a terrorist. And if you don't think that's the case, I can show you the stuff that proves it. They can shut your bank accounts off. And people go by saying, "Oh no, 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 that'll never happen to me." Oh, yeah, okay, until it does. I listened to this talk with Eric Weinstein on It says that the headline of it is "Why Can No One Agree on the Truth Anymore?" And I'll throw this link in if people want to watch it. It's a very long interview, but I would suggest watching it because he has some very good insights as to the current condition. And the guy has rubbed elbows with the super rich, so he knows where their head's at. So if you got time, or you got some time you want to kill, and listen to an interview that might give you some perspective, I just posted the link in the chat. It'll make you think.
Every day should make everybody think.
Yeah, and Lady Tugboat, when you talk about police state, are we in a position now where we aren't supposed to support law enforcement anymore because they may not support us? I mean, if I was in New York, I'd be up in arms. If I was in Portland, if I was in California or DC. I mean, when they were literally taking the side of illegal immigrants over the populace that lives there. Well, what I find absolutely the irony in is the current governor up there claiming up and more that, well, we can't take anymore, we can't do this, but yet you're supposed to be a sanctuary city and all this bullshit and all this crap that you forced upon other people until it's forced upon yourself, and all of a sudden you're squealing like a little pig.
Right.
So.
Or you got people from California leaving out of there because of everything that they've had to deal with. And you got the immigration taking over.
And still vote the same way when they come to other states.
Right.
So I've got friends of mine, the parents that are still liberals, and they still don't understand what's going on. And I'm like, you got to be kidding me. Anybody could think in their right mind that what's going on in this country is correct is beyond me at this point in time. I don't. Yeah, you got to be some kind of special stupid.
They do.
But the thing is, it isn't just our country, and that's why they want to shut down these communication platforms between other countries. And I can see by next year we may not be able to even hold this panel like we're doing right now.
Very possible.
The next question is, if you do, are they going to turn around and try to criminally charge you for it?
Could very well be.
I mean, even think about the time when I first met you, Gary, about how much stuff has fostered forward on things that we would have thought would have never happened.
Right. And how much our world has just really been turned upside down since then.
Yep.
Unbelievable.
But that's where we're headed, and that's what's going on. And then that's one of the reasons why. I haven't tried to take and build this beyond like I was doing on YouTube.
Right.
Hey, Chaplain. Good to see you.
Chaplain?
Good afternoon, gentlemen.
Good
Oh,
Chaplain, good to see you.
Good to see you too.
Have a good one, Lady Tugboat. Hope to see you again soon.
Take care, Lady Tugboat.
You leaving?
She's leaving.
I'm not. No, Lady Tugboat is leaving the chat.
No, okay. No, I know what happened. I didn't turn the other thing off. Duh. Way to go, Chaplain.
So how's it going, bud?
Good. Good.
Good. Hey, how you
There's just
doing,
so
Wanda?
much going on. All of this just defies description to me. It's like the whole country needs a V8.
Needs a what?
Needs a V8.
Oh,
Yeah, to straighten them out. I'm not talking
I don't
about
know.
people. I'm talking about the government.
Hey, Vonda.
I was thinking more of a lobotomy, but that's all right.
Oh, that would be better yet.
Whatever works. Whatever works.
And frankly,
all
I think
for it.
Biden's already been lobotomized. So
Yeah, it's got China written on the tramp stamp.
And they're holding that little cross above him with the strings hanging down, moving his arms and his feet and his everything.
You all right over there, Robert?
that's a visual I didn't need there, Gary.
But all right.
Hello, Wanda. Good to see you.
Hello, everyone. If I didn't say hi to you, great to see you.
But you know, all these things that are going on, trying to get people to realize that there are people behind the scenes that we never see that are the ones fomenting all this stuff, and getting to understand that they're playing both sides.
Yeah.
You know, and I don't know.
The one thing I'm going to add to that, Robert, it's just not the politicians
No, it's
that
not.
it's everybody behind the scenes, clerks, assistant clerks, everybody that deals with Washington needs to be out of there. A whole new start. Everything gets dropped, left from the old administrations, retired, kicked out of office, and start all new. And get people that actually got some common sense.
That was my only criticism of Trump right there, is that he didn't clean house when he got in there. He left the whole
He
from the
did.
Obama administration, and that's why we had the problems we have now, because that wasn't done at the beginning.
The one thing that I can say with Trump is that he did clean his administration to a small amount, not like what probably new jobs that this baboon created. But for the most part, he had a more narrow administration. But for the most part, I think Trump was very, very adamant that he was going to get reelection. And his next administration, I think he probably would have definitely done way more before he would have left office. Way more.
Well, that's what they're afraid of. It's funny. It's funny. I made a prediction before the election started. I said the only way Biden is going to win this thing is if he cheats, and that's exactly what he did. I didn't know I'd be right, but I said that to my wife, and she can attest to that. I told her that. I said, I guarantee you, he's going to get in there. That's the only way he's going to get in there. He's going to cheat his way in.
Yavani, I think they're going to push a narrative to avoid it. That's my opinion, but I think they're going to try to find a way to avoid it in 24. I really do.
I hope so. I hope they.
I will say it this way:
have a free and fair election. That's all I hope.
There had better be. Not whether I think there'll be one. There had better be.
Right. I agree with that, Robert. There better be.
I do think that they're going to. I'm not going to be one bit shocked if they don't try to throw us into World War prior to that.
Right.
We're on the cutting edge of that right now.
We absolutely are.
But
and
the one thing, Robert, what I want to add in here quick about World War, and this goes based off of what I've been hearing with military defense. The contracts that normally the government gets from our state, and that's Oshkosh Defense, a lot of those contracts have not been renewed. There have been employees that have left the company and everything else. So where they're getting military vehicles from is beyond me. There is other manufacturers out there, but for the most part, Oshkosh Defense usually gets a good majority of the contracts, and this idiot didn't renew them. Where when Trump was in Oshkosh, Oshkosh Defense had 3-4 new contracts. Now they're all gone.
Are you kidding me?
They're all gone. So if we're going to go into a world war, what do we have? We don't, because we're giving crap away to other countries, and we just don't have the military vehicles. Where are they going to get them from?
It's like them having the cannon. We have the Derringer.
Mm-hmm.
But you are still quite safe over there. We are here. We are in the middle of the fucking battlefield, man. You know, the
Right.
war. You all know that the war gonna not be in the U.S. or in Canada or in Australia. The war will be in Europe, like it always been. You know.
Right.
Now, here's another tidbit. I found this out yesterday on Newsmax. They say that 70% of the military is overweight. That's a shocking figure. That means we ain't got a physically fit fighting force out there.
I'll tell you this, from when I was in to what I've seen going on for training now. I'm just shocked. You know, and I'll bring up this point that I brought up to someone else. All these people that went in there that to get their surgeries and their medications and stuff for trans people and all this stuff, do they think those people are going to be effective fighting forces? If they
No.
went in and just had their ding dong cut off and they got to be under all kinds of hospital care and medications? You know, I'm trying to figure out why our military should have been paying for that shit.
Why are we paying for that crap? Is the bigger question.
Well, yes, exactly, Gary. You know, but that's another thing too. When they jumped all over Gates for what he did when they got McCarthy out of there, what most people don't understand is Gates was going after this because he wanted everything on separate bills, because then they could have defunded these things. But what are they going to do? They're going to push through for one big omnibus bill again and put everything all in one. And they're going to go through and you watch. They'll get everything that Biden wanted. Yes, we did, Faith. We paid for that as well. Absolutely.
The American taxpayer always pays the bill.
Paying attention to these rhinos and these establishment Republicans that are voting for these omnibus bills, and those are the people that need to be removed. Period. They need to be out. They didn't fulfill their oath.
Koersaif Salamik, welcome, and are you following me now?
I myself personally, if and when Trump gets back in, he needs to disband several intelligence agencies and 3-letter agencies, and either scrap them or start back from the ground up.
I agree with that. That's what has to happen.
You know,
switching gears a little bit. Did you hear, Robert, that the governor of our state is taking credit for federal jobs that are being done on our highways?
Say that again?
All the orange barrel. Yeah, she's taking credit for this.
She was doing that already a few months back, Chaplain.
No, I was just reading this yesterday. I goes, oh, you got to be kidding me. These are federal highways. She's got nothing to do with that.
Well, in a way, yes, because on my part, for my plate, a certain amount of mileage that I travel in your state gets broken down between all the states that I go to. Now,
Yeah.
regardless if I travel 1 mile in Wisconsin, 400 miles for the year in Michigan, there's a certain percentage that I got to pay Michigan because Michigan is a neighboring state. To me, it's a little bit higher. So, Michigan, Iowa, Illinois are my highest states that I travel. So those are always inflated a little bit higher because of a neighboring state. So my plate, I got to pay, let's say for 800 miles, let's say it's an average of $350 that I got to pay the state of Michigan for my apportion plate that's supposed to go to your highways.
Mm-hmm.
That's how the transportation is all supposed to be set up throughout the whole entire nation. Now, what your state does with that money is what's baffling me, because for years I've traveled through Michigan and the roads were bad no matter what. Detroit's bad, I-94, I-69, I-96, I-75. U.S. highways are bad, 23. I can list off a good majority of them. They're all bad. Where's that money going? All the trucks that travel in your state, 8 axles, 5 axles, maybe even less than 5 axles or more than 5 axles. Where's that money going? Your road should be like plentiful there for as amount of weight that you guys can haul. I think it's like 160,000 pounds you can have hauling on your interstates. But though the roads there are completely crap.
Yep. Supposedly, she takes that money and divides it up in different areas. Like, for instance, in the schools, they have these indoctrination programs that are going on in our Michigan public schools now. That pays for that. For if a drag queen comes into an elementary school, they pay them for that. So it comes out of our tax dollars. That money was earmarked for the roads, and she split that
Right.
all up.
But the thing is, isn't that why you pay school fees before your child goes to school?
You think so?
But no, they got to rob the
so,
kitty
but
from
no.
something else and just leave the roads go to crap.
Yeah.
Which leads to many other things: more accidents, bad roads, cars, A-frames, steering links, more bad brakes. No pun intended to Paula, but it basically everything right there. To solve a problem, you create more problems in the long run.
Yeah, I said that a while ago about Tony. She is a lead foot on the brake. She's not a speeder, but she's definitely a lead foot on the brake. I think it is, to the most part. I don't know why some women do that. Not all women do that, but she does.
But everything is all tied together. Everything is all tied together one way or the other, but you should not be robbing something that was probably put into law, but you find a way around it, just like our government does when it comes to laws and in figuring out a budget. In my opinion, a lot of these laws that got existing laws in it, that shouldn't have happened. It should be a separate law on the books, no other strings attached, and stick with it. If you violate it, guess what? Do the time, because you deserve it.
That's right. And Robert, another thing is that the 45 cents a gallon tax has not been introduced by our governor yet. I'm wondering why. She's got both houses right now.
Imagine that.
And that's supposed to be for the roads.
Well, the next question is, how much more do they need for the roads?
I don't know. But
how many taxes
there was
do
an
we pay for
underlying
roads
theme
and schools
behind
now?
that, though.
Yeah, how soon before they start raising your taxes just because, we don't have enough money for the roads?
No.
Well, that's exactly what they're doing there, Gary.
Hello. Yeah. What's up? Well, right now I'm kind of getting things prepared for the message. Why? Yeah, I have. I didn't know where you went.
Yeah, you're right, Bonnie. That's exactly what it. Well, not so much as state taxes. We're talking about state taxes. Federal, absolutely.
And that's why, because believe it or not, one party, that's all they believe in. War, 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 and more war. It helps supposedly in an election because they don't have any other way to win other than the second way, which is, oh, we'll throw a couple other pieces of paper in this box. They won't know. But to me, and I'm very animate on this. I do believe in one party, but you know what? I can't even trust either party. They all need to go. We need all new people. And even in your own countries, I believe the same thing. You should not have people in your country that make a career life out of being a politician because you think it's better.
That's the thing, and that's what we have here. Most of them don't even have uh, learned anything or studied anything. They they never worked in their life. They don't even know what it means to work for your life, to pay your bills and stuff. They have
Right?
been freaking politicians from the beginning.
Right.
That's what they are all about.
It's just like Skinny Skirt Newsom over in California. He's never worked a hard day in his life. He doesn't even know what to get dirt underneath his fingernails.
Yeah, and people will keep voting him in. So everybody says, well, how does Pelosi stay in office all that time? Well, there you go.
You know what? Here's a story I'm going to share. A few weeks ago, we ordered pizza. And next thing you know, the guy pulls up. I look at the license plate, Washington State. And I just had to. I was like, why did you move? I was like, from Washington, huh? He's like, yeah, I just moved here. I'm like, why did you move here?
I'm all right.
Oh, well, I didn't really like what was happening in Washington. I was like, you know what? I'll tell you something. If you would have stayed there and any of the people that were residents in there actually had some balls and actually vote out the Democrats that you had there, you wouldn't be here. And I told them, when it comes to election time, don't bring your Democratic crap here. We'll find a way to boot you out of it.
Yeah, I wish that were true, though, Gary.
I know it, but it probably ain't gonna be.
Barry or Ivani, I think it's Yvonne or Ivani, I'm not sure.
Yvonne. It's a female's name. Yvonne.
It doesn't matter what the system is. Our problem is the corruption of those systems. Unfortunately, there's no way to get human nature out of a lot of our systems. There's just people who are inherently parasites on society.
It's not only the politicians. It's all the lobbyists behind that.
Yep.
Yep.
We have 738 or something members in parliament. We have the second biggest parliament in the world with just a little small country we have. And we have, I think, about 5,000 or 6,000 lobbyists working for them. Can you fucking imagine that? What kind of money that is and what freaking corruption that is? It's absolutely insane. The lobbyist,
Immensely insane.
That is the lobbyist is the biggest issue on all that stuff.
My opinion, the lobbying should have gone a long time ago because all that is legalized bribery.
Yeah, that should not be allowed.
Things.
Thank you, Almufte, Nadia, for hosting. Might be automatic. I just realized.
Corporations. But what do? It's like the whole damn planet's lost their mind. And not just in politics, people in general. I mean, you look at the people who out protesting over some of the dumbest of shit or the craziest of shit. You know, so
whatever it is.
We are in the biggest crisis since whatever, maybe since the Second World War, and our government is building a new freaking Kanzleramt, a new, let's say, White House that is 5 or 6 times bigger than the White House in the US. And this fucking building is mentioned to cost about $800 million. Euros. 800 million.
Well, Yui, they think that money grows on trees, and we'll make the countrymen have to work that much harder to build this because it's the right thing to do when it's the actually wrong thing to do.
Oh man.
Yeah, good.
Because like,
you must not be back on yet.
Who?
You. I said, y'all good?
No, I'm back. I had to take a phone call. My wife.
All right.
The boss, I mean.
The boss?
Yeah, the boss.
And Lynn, yeah, it should be term limits and put it on the ballot, not the House to vote on. Exactly. And it should also be on a ballot, whether or not if they get a raise or not, or it should be a vote on it if we want to lower their wage.
Yeah, Yvonne, you're correct. And I'm kind of the opinion if they break their oath of office, you can boot their ass out.
Mm-hmm.
And in my opinion, if I had a vote on the ballot, I would say $1 for a day that the House and Senate get. Nothing more. You'll see how quick they want to get out of office.
Yeah, that'd be a good one, wouldn't it, Barry? How many of them would have Pfizer on their jacket?
Right.
As for every bad decision they make or how many times they take recesses, they should get less the money for it under the minimum wage.
That's why I said $1 per day.
Mm-hmm. Either they'll change their ways or they'll just be booted right out.
Well, that's the problem, though, Chaplain. That's the way it was supposed to be, but it isn't working that way anymore. Now, whether that's by hook or by crook or just sheer ignorance of the people, take your pick.
Well, the thing that runs our country is special interest in other countries like China.
Yeah.
And they think one president was above the law when it's basically everyone's above the law. They think, oh, well, that can't happen to me.
It can.
I'm a politician. That don't happen to me. I'm a U.S. congressman.
Well, it's just like when ALC said that people over 75 years old have lived a full life. She's decided that they're going to go and that she's exempt. Okay, when did you become God? Time I mention a girl's name, I get my blood pressure goes up 20 points.
Trust me, I know the feeling, Chaplain. I know the feeling. You know, we're at a point in all of our countries where either the people, the population themselves, are going to take back the ruling of their countries, or we're going to be bending a knee to a one world government real soon. And we need to get ideology. Let me say
Ideology.
Ideological ideas
Easy
out
for you
of.
to say.
Yeah.
Say that one 15 times fast, Robert.
Yeah. I usually don't have a problem with that, but today's not one of my better days. But
yes, those days.
yeah, exactly, Yvonne. Unfortunately, like here or anywhere, and it's proven statistically that the super rich, not this 1% thing that people bandy about is bullshit. It's the 0.0000001%. Well, most people, they have more money than most countries, and they're the ones that are getting and reaping the benefits of our governments and their decisions.
Like Soros comes to mind.
Yeah, well, it isn't just Soros.
Well, I know that.
He just happens to be one of the nut jobs that happen to be publicly out there. It's the ones you don't hear about. You know, and the other thing is, government should not be involved in social issues.
Moral or social.
Pardon?
Moral or social.
Correct. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I don't know if I call him a puppet as much as I would just call him a useful idiot.
That's probably a better description.
Well, I still think,
he's a useful idiot with a shit ton of money.
I think in a way, I think what we should do is put the common sense people on this side of California, Oregon, and Washington, and put the uncommon sense people all on those 3 states, and just let nature earthquake those 3 states off into the ocean, and we all be good.
Yep. Just take that big song, Cook California, all the way off.
And I got to disagree there with Yvonne. Soros is by far not a puppet. He's one of the most dangerous fuckers on the planet. I guarantee you that.
Oh, yeah.
He's in the
Right.
same. He's the same bastard as Bill Gates is. He's not a puppet. He's a fucking dangerous bastard.
He's worse than Gates by far.
Yeah, he's absolutely. He's not a puppet. He's one of the instigators.
With one stroke of the pen, he laid off 1,000 workers, 100,000 workers in one day.
He has the same the same mindsets as a lot of men, but the only problem is he's running a lot of these NGOs, and he's behind all the stuff that's flooding our countries with immigrants. He's behind all the stuff with our banking failures and all that stuff. Those types of people are the ones pulling the strings. But in the same token, he's still a useful idiot. Do I think they're still alive? Yeah, for sure.
And the NGOs, it's nothing else than the lobbyists. You know, that's all.
Yep.
All these lobbyists are the same as the NGOs, like the WEF and WHO and whatever you want to take. You know.
Well,
that all has to get stopped.
Why are those things allowed to exist outside of governmental control? Since when did we become countries where third party, basically clubs, if you want to call them that, should have any influence whatsoever over our governments?
Yeah, it's nothing else than a club. Yeah. Nobody elected these guys, and they had taken over control in our country. That's absolutely insane. And
I
people
wouldn't go
don't
that
even.
far, Yvonne. There's definitely leaders that have body doubles to keep themselves safe, but as far as cloning, no. No, what they're banking on is there's certain technologies out there now that can they hope that can make them pseudo immortal. Um, and it's already being talked about. I played a clip earlier about that stuff. The technology's already coming there. And Klaus Schwab's right hand man even admitted, he said it right in a interview, that we will become gods. You try to stop me, we'll kill you.
Yeah.
In no uncertain terms.
Mhm. Exactly right. That's what he did say. That sent chills right
Yeah.
away to me.
Well, look
Yeah,
at
she's got that kind of
Ginsburg,
power.
of how long they tried to keep her alive.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And just what we need, another buffoon idiot that we have as a so-called president that they cloned, and he thinks a watermelon is a banana.
Yeah.
But he's not sure what state he's in.
I don't know what Telegram group I got it off, but there are rumors going on that they trying to install Big Mike as the new president. So, and if that would happen, you
I
know,
don't
all
I don't think that'll happen, Uva. Um, I really think they're at an impasse. Okay, let's back up a little bit. Look from a context of a decade ago. I really think Hillary Clinton was supposed to be the last president of the United States. She was going to bow out and put all the things in place that would have given up the sovereignty of this country. Trump come along, threw a big fucking monkey wrench in that trick. Excuse my French, or Chaplain. The thing of it is, they weren't expecting that. They didn't think Trump had a snowball's chance in hell of beating Clinton, and he did. And that shook up their whole apple cart and all their plans and stuff. The stuff that they're doing at the WEF, they were supposed to have implemented a decade ago. And that's what's going on. And now that the people are, and Trump did one thing, he exposed them. He exposed them to the average person, not just to the conspiracy theorists as they'd like to bandy about. He exposed them to the average people. And there's more and more people opening their eyeballs and seeing what's really going on. That's the problem. So now they're at an impasse. Well, what are they going to do this next election? If they think that Obama's wife is going to have a snowball's chance in hell, they're wrong there. They don't have anybody that they remotely think can legitimately, without just absolutely being blatantly cheating, which will get them nowhere now. They don't have anybody that can beat Trump.
Now, with his numbers the way they are,
No, they could put Trump in prison; he'd still win.
that'll actually gain him more people if they did that. Tell you the truth,
it would, frankly. There's
but
more
if
and more people
would it be even allowed for somebody with a criminal record to go in the election? Would it even allowed after
they're trying to push that narrative too, UV.
They sure are.
But see, that's under the pretext of what I would consider fraud and judicial, shall we say, I don't even know how, I don't know what the word is for it. I personally don't understand why the Supreme Court hasn't stepped in and stopped all this shit.
Because they don't want to hear it.
No, because I think they're afraid, Gary.
They are afraid, immensely afraid. Guarantee you they are. Instead of doing the right thing under the Constitution that they took an oath of office for, they don't want to touch it. Because they will be criticized much worse than what they are now. Especially when Roe v. Wade got overturned.
Well, that I will say this though. You look at what they've done with the Roe v. Wade. You look at what they've done with the gun laws in the past month. I think that if they are successful in prosecuting Trump, and I don't see how they could be, but if they are, I think that'll be taken to the Supreme Court and it'll be overturned. And I'm thinking that's why you have all these people who are supposedly jumping ship and they're not. I think that's what the plan is at this point in time, is to get through this, get it kicked to the Supreme Court, get it kicked out. At least I hope that's the case.
And I would imagine a current administration has probably behind closed doors says, you do that, I'll ruin your reputation. I guarantee you that's probably what happened.
Well, at this point in time, I don't think reputation is going to mean a whole shit of beans if we ain't got a country.
Yeah. That's why they're trying to direct the country more so that they can't have that chance. They're making sure that every move that they could possibly do doesn't happen. You don't have a country, you got no rule. You go under basically martial law, guess what? None of us have supposed any kind of sovereignty, freedoms, or anything. The government says you're staying in your house and that's it. That's basically taken every sovereignty that we've ever had.
What you want.
I don't know. I don't think it. I don't think that they counted on what's going on, and
Lord have mercy.
As much as the stuff that's gotten shaken up, I don't think that would work out so well for them.
Well, yeah, because a lot of it's been exposed.
Right.
But like getting back to it, that's why they're going after him so bad, because what he did on his first term and how he was going to shake up Washington, drain the swamp. And a lot of the stuff that came out, it's like, we gotta do something. We gotta get him for prosecution, this, that, any way possible, because we don't need our secrets exposed. You get rid of people that are a threat. You retaliate as much as you can so that a guy that should be rightful president should be president. But no, you're going to prosecute him, vet him in every extent, way, shape, and harm that you can to literally get him to not be president of the United States.
Yeah, I don't think that's going to work on it. Nada, the right-wing Zionism stuff, I don't think this has anything to do with the religious aspect of this stuff at all.
First, you got to know what a Zionist is before you can call somebody a Zionist.
And Trump is far from that. But, you put that into play with everything that's going on with the WEF. The only difference is there, Gary. How are they going to, if they manage to destabilize all these countries, which they're doing a quite fine job of, but in the same token, you still got to succumb the population. And I don't see that happening in this country at all. I think that was why Biden was so hell-bent and leather to try and pass all these gun laws that have been shot down.
Right.
And that's one thing I'll tell everybody in every country. People don't seem to think that makes a difference. It does. It absolutely does. You're not going to come in and take over a country of well-armed people. You're just not going to do it. I don't care what you bring.
Phone calls.
And Nada of Canada, about Trump, maybe you should actually watch the TV of what your parliament has done to your country. You can't even fly a Canadian flag. So to say something about our president, maybe you should look in the television and see what your own country is doing to you as a Canadian.
I invite you to go to Chaplain Jethel's Corner and listen to what I said about Christian Zionism versus Zionism. Listen to the entire thing because I got a whole factual sheet on that of what that is. And in fact, I invite you to come on today and listen to how this whole thing got started with Abraham and Sarah. They had devised a plan to impregnate Hagar, and that's why you had the Middle East and the situation it's in today. And you'll learn that if you bother to come on my program. You don't know what you're talking about. There's no such thing as right-wing Zionism. Zionism is a region. Let's get that straight, okay?
Aussie, you grabbing them channel points?
Well,
Got to do it. I had to do it.
I don't know if that did any good, but I have got a point.
And not of Canada, left versus right. You know what? I'm not believing left or right because you know what? Left and right, until basically all of them are out of our country or out of our government and a whole new set of people are in there. I don't believe in left or right. I do believe in the Constitution, and that's what I stand for.
And if you'd have been listening to me earlier, I absolutely said that the left and the right, for the most part, are on par.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
There's very few in there that I think are actually standing behind what they actually took an oath of office to. Hence why the hate and the prosecution that they're getting, because those are in charge that want to stay in charge and turn this whole thing upside down worldwide. Just look at the ones that aren't being prosecuted, and that'll tell you the whole story.
Yep.
I'll agree with you on that, Yvonne. A label is a label, will always be a label. And thank you, Chaplain, for defining that for me, because I wasn't sure how to answer that one.
I'll give you another, for instance, they're not out of Canada. I'm going to read the actual meaning of Zionism. Simply a political movement at its inception has today become more of an ideology than anything else. Zionism is an international movement for the return of the Jewish people to Zion, the land of Israel, while exercising the right to retain authority of government in the state of Israel. That's it in a nutshell. There's no right or left wing there. That's what it is. I've heard other people talk about that, and they completely take it out of the context of what the Bible talks about, and as far as what Zion is and where it is located. It's located near Jerusalem. And the biggest battle that's going on in the Middle East right now is over the state of Israel ceasing to exist in their mind on the other side. They want them blown off the map. Is that right or left wing there? I wonder. Let's see an answer to that one.
Yeah, I highly doubt that. Not of Canada.
No. Fighting
Go tell that to your individuals in Canada, your government.
Tell me this: can you openly protest your government for the laws that they have passed to restrict your freedom? Ours is attempting to do that. No, sir. Wrong. I have never been brainwashed. I've been transformed.
Hey, Zero.
There's
Hey,
a
Zero.
difference.
Zero
Yeah,
even wakey over there?
Yeah, it's about the right time.
Actually, he's up late. If he's coming on here now at 11:11, he's up late. He slept in. What's up with that?
Who's that?
No, I slept till 12, so I should.
Zero.
Oh, do we have a baby yet?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay.
Congratulations, Paula and Robert.
Wow.
I had to throw that pun in there real quick.
Thanks, Gary.
Are you asleep? You just found a way.
Hopefully, you didn't have the really long hair.
Yeah. There's baby shark and there's baby Sasquatch.
Yeah, there was another thing that I watched. I was going to send you, Chaplain, but I forgot to send it to you. That I thought was quite interesting when it comes to that context you're talking about.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It gets pretty deep. I'm about halfway through it right now.
Copy that. Zero. Going to the store.
Check your Telegram, Robert.
All right.
That's because you don't have the knowledge, not of Canada. You need to read it more to understand it better.
Oh, possible.
Yeah, very
I thought
possible.
I thought the same thing, to tell you the truth.
Yeah, it was a certain comment that made me thinking.
That's okay. I allow people, they can have their own opinions. That's all right.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, we definitely need some sweetener here for somebody.
Yes and no. No.
I don't know exactly if how that works there, Vaughn. I don't know if they are or they aren't, or that's kind of a gray area.
Yeah, that's definitely a gray area.
Canada. Well, they still had the Queen of England under currency, so that can tell you a little bit.
Who?
Queen of England. Well,
Who is that?
We need the king now.
She's away, I guess. Now you have this fucking elephant ear guy.
Hey, this Canadian quarter I've seen had her face all over it.
Talking about comedy and slapstick, man. If that is not a slapstick, this guy and his fucking horse. Oh my goodness, man.
Oh, Jesus.
Giddy up, cowboy.
Canada is part of the Commonwealth, yes, Yvonne.
Commonwealth.
And and the king is also the king of Australia, New Zealand, and Canada.
And like England, they have a parliamentarian government. The Prime Minister.
Well, they did.
And a monarch.
I don't know so much anymore. Kind of like we were supposed to have a republic, not a democracy. And people seem to have forgotten that one too.
Fox News started calling it democracy. I said, come on, guys. We're calling it democracy. It's not what it is. Representative government. Republic.
Yep. A republic, constitutional republic.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, Barry, you're correct. I seem to remember seeing that somewhere. Governor General. You know, it's amazing throughout history how things have been twisted and bandied about, and this war and that war, and this land and that land. And now I said, think about it. If the United States would have kept all the land we went to war for and actually fought over and kept, half the planet would be the United States by now.
Yeah, very well.
She even got an air base in Okinawa.
Aussie, you can't be asking that now. That's out of line.
Oh my gosh.
Aussie, the only thing we can get you for Christmas is basically you watching for channel points.
She has been all over Christmas for the last few days already. She's get me count the days.
I think it was Zero that said we had yesterday, or I think it was yesterday. We had 65 days before Christmas. I said, thanks for reminding me. I would have never known it if you hadn't told me.
I am definitely not looking forward to Christmas this year.
Just another day, Paula. Just another day.
Just another day.
Yeah, but we have another grandchild that we need to buy for.
All right.
Which means the Christmas bill goes up.
Mm-hmm. We got,
yeah, that's a whole other discussion there. Oof.
2 grandchildren and 1 great grandchild to buy for this year. I had an addition not too long ago.
Welcome back, Braveheart.
Oh, Viola.
What, channel points, Aussie?
Yep,
Well,
I'm not
thanks,
monetized. No channel points here. You're bumming.
Yeah, my family is getting bigger and bigger.
My goodness, Aussie, I never knew.
Well, I'm definitely multicultural in my family now.
Yeah, and it's a long fucking way to down under, man. Holy moly.
That took some doing, let me tell you.
I'm not even gonna ask.
No, I'm not touching that with a 39.5-foot pole.
And she's all the way on the south. She's all the way on the south end of Australia too, man. So.
Yeah, right, Aussie.
Right, uh-huh. And I can show you a bridge in Zilwaukee, too.
I guess Viola knows you better, Ozzy.
I'm glad I pulled this up. People tell me I need to hold panels more again like I used to.
Yeah, you've been kind of absent for a while. I was like, where the heck has Robert been?
Well, I told you what's going on here. I'm just trying to let's put it this way. I don't want to drag anybody else's ass if they come after me.
Hey, Laurie.
They
Well,
don't
Where's
work
agree
Andy?
in.
100%. You know,
Where's Andy?
if we go down together.
Well, there's still got to be somebody on the outside to give us a fighting chance.
Yeah.
And I already made up to mind that if they're going to try to put handcuffs on me over this shit, they better bring a lot of help.
Oh, Andy's cooking a meal. All right.
Andy's cooking.
There you go.
Okay.
I bet it's schnitzel.
Burritos.
Schnitzel and spätzle. No, it's burritos. What the hell?
He's cooking an Oscar Mayer hot dog.
That's definitely not Austrian food.
Nope.
Alex, he says, call me, Robert, if you need backup. Just saying.
I can introduce him to the number one selling hot dog in Michigan. That is Kogel.
Yeah.
I won't buy anything else.
That's where I am.
Honestly, I had one hot dog in the US, and honestly, that didn't taste at all. So I like the European style hot dog way more than the. I'm not a fan of hot dog, anyways, but the American style
No,
of hot
I'm
dog.
not either, really.
Well, maybe you need to get a hold of UV of Johnsonville Brat. You might reconsider.
That's another one. That's another good one. But if you have a hot dog from Kogel, you won't go back. I guarantee it. I turn people in the South onto that, and they ask
From
me
where
to
is it?
send
Where
them-
is it from? Kroger?
Yeah, no, Kogel
Kogel.
hot dogs.
Huh.
I'll send a
Oh.
pack down to Texas every so often because they want those dogs. They don't sell them down there.
No.
Oh,
No.
you're puppy sitting. All right.
She got new puppies. Yvonne asked, what do I think of BRICS? What do I think of BRICS? About the same thing I think of the IMF.
Yeah, it's just a new name, and it doesn't matter who takes control. It's control. Throwing soggy toast won't work.
Here come Ozzy. Those soggy toes won't. Splat.
Oh my gosh.
Take that, Splat.
Oh, shit.
That's a laugh for the day. Ozzy, you did bring some sweetness in here.
Oh, man.
Oh my goodness, Braveheart, that was a good one. Oh shit.
That was classic.
That was Stern. That was a great one.
That was
I'll
fucking
remember
awesome.
that.
I'm glad I wasn't drinking my coffee.
Me too. I just finished.
Yeah, that would have been coffee waste.
The screen would have been full of black coffee.
Ugh.
It wouldn't have looked so good.
Holy crap.
By the way, Chaplain, you should be dropping your link in your time there, guy.
Yeah, I didn't do that. But I will.
I said, but that's someone skill set. Let's see. I got the dish lady with her flip flops and Aussie with her soggy toast.
Yeah, the flip flops. Yeah, that's right.
Well, Gundrum's got it. Thanks, Gundrum.
Thank you. let me type in there because you have me to put a destination in there to post comments. I've already got it in.
And Lynn's got it as well. Thanks, Lynn and Gundrum.
Thank
There you go.
Both. You're both godsends to me, both of you.
So if anybody's in the chat there wants to definitely follow Chaplain Jethro, he is going to be doing a word tonight. So definitely make sure you give him a follow. Hit that notifications bell and make sure you get all those notifications from him when he's live. And definitely hear from what we have talked about today is incorporated into his tonight's live stream. So check him out.
It's kind of a funny way to advertise the program.
Well, it's better doing it this way than talking about women with breaks, in my opinion.
But you ever jerked forward when she's sitting the break? I don't know how many times I've done that yesterday. I kept going, "What are you doing? Why do you keep hitting those brakes so hard?"
There, didn't you, Gary? Just had to go back there, didn't you?
Hi, Paula.
Hi, Gary.
Hey, Paula, I'm not afraid to tell my wife she's heavy on the brake. I tell her that all the time. Then she'll start listening. Do you hear the brakes? I says, yeah. It's you wearing them down.
I have a bad feeling my peace offering is going to be some sort of a chocolate, I think.
Uh-oh.
You better
Shut up. I might have to go get some chocolate now. She hears me. Ooh. I'm in the doghouse now. But I'll be staying in the doghouse if she keeps hearing me.
Chaplain, are we going to have to put a doghouse on tonight's live stream?
Why, certainly. I'm always in here. This is my doghouse. My office is my doghouse.
Well, I'm already in my doghouse. I've got actually two of them to choose from. So
it's funny. Zero and I were talking about that last night. We're trying to figure out a way to get a small refrigerator and a microwave in here. Just stash somewhere. So if I have to be put in here, then I can survive.
That can be arranged. All you need one is from a Kenworth. That's a small enough refrigerator.
There you go. Figure out where to put it in here. I'll figure.
I don't know what it's going to cost, but I know the ones for the semi are usually up to about anywhere from $500 to $1,800.
Ooh. Ouch.
Yeah, not cheap.
Nope.
Yeah, because they're running on 12 volt or 24 volt, eh? That's the thing.
Yep.
But you have an inverter in the truck as well, don't you?
That what's that?
You have an inverter in there for a coffee machine or something?
Coffee we don't drink because we don't want to have to stop every 20 minutes to go to the bathroom. But we do got a microwave. We got a TV in here. We got a refrigerator. Porta potty. We don't have to leave the truck for any way, shape, or form unless it's for a 10-200.
Yep.
Take care there, Yvonne.
You just add one more to the list. I need a coffee pot in here. What's convenient for me is the bathroom's right next door, so I don't have far to go. So I can practice.
Right.
There.
Copy that. You too.
It's private chat. No. Well.
So what's the talk on the night there, Chaplain?
The sons of Abraham, Isaac and Ishmael. And how this all began. Starts from there and it goes on to present day.
Actually, I was watching a thing the other day. It was talking about the differences in different canons, and got into the Dead Sea Scrolls and some other interpretations, all that stuff. And it's like there's like three mainstream ones, and if you take and look at all those in aggregate, and then only look at the differences, it's quite eye opening.
It's amazing how the Bible got put together in the 1600s of the King James Version, where it came from. It was required reading.
Well, it's not just that. It's not just the KJV version, but compared to a couple other ones that are mainstream as well. Yeah. As I said, it isn't the parallels; it's the differences. Yeah. Maybe Wednesdays we'll have a chit chat about that. Like I said, some of them is quite eye opening in what one says versus what another one says.
Yep.
And it's
a
not
great
big
big book right here in front of me. It talks all about that stuff.
It's not big changes. There's only like a couple words here and there, but boy, they make a big difference.
Sometimes when I had a Bible open, I almost had to have 3 or 4 different versions of it just to get the complete interpretation of it, where some of it could be in like state statute law terms that you don't understand, but when reading it in another King James version or another version or a Gideon's version Bible, it's definitely a little bit more interesting to understand than when you've got so many different versions of God's word actually in a Bible.
Mm-hmm. That's why I go to the Bible commentaries that I have here in my library, because that clears up a lot. If you don't understand it, you can go right there and it'll go through every book and practically every verse to give you an outline of what that actually does mean.
Well, there's one thing that I'm going to sit down where we'll have to talk about once they're chaplain is I'll ask you this question on this panel. It's not a big deal. The fallen ones, right? Now, if you took that as they were supposedly the Elohim, correct? The B'nai Elohim.
I'm trying to decipher what you're saying here.
He's more or less talking about like the angels that came to Earth, and before God wiped out the Earth because it was you had fallen angels with humans.
Prior to the flood.
Prior to the flood.
But B'nai Elohim and all that stuff, when they talk about the fallen ones, and then they talk about the supposed intermixing of
angels and humans.
Yeah, the Elohim. Well, it's not quite angels. It's not quite the same thing, Gary.
Well, the fallen angels from heaven became demons in Satan's domain.
Yeah,
but Satan was an angel in heaven.
There's some passages in there that I'd like to talk to you about that kind of twists my brain about something. And I won't put that on here, but maybe me and you'll have a talk about it once. But here's the other question: if this is what is come about in that, because it says before and after, would they still exist today then?
You talking about the angels?
The Elohim.
I'd say it does. It's very much in play right now.
That's one thing they can dare say has twisted my brain thinking about that, because if that's
the battle between good and evil is going to continue until
Well, this is not really. I'm not really asking a good and evil thing. It's more of a thing because if it's a physical state, then it certainly puts a twist on the current political climate.
Oh, it does. No doubt about that. Because Satan's reach is far-reaching and far. It's just vast what he can do. He can look like an angel of light. He can look so good. But
Now, the Nephilim, Viola, were the offspring.
Yep, that's the Nephilims. Yep. That I was trying to think of the word, but I couldn't spit it out. The Nephilims.
Yeah, the Elohim were the fallen ones, or the Watchers, as they call them, I guess.
I've heard that word, and I've even spoken on it. My brain's
They're
just
in the
not
Bible.
operating right.
I think a while ago, Chaplain, I brought it to your attention about the Nephilims. This was like almost 4 or 5 years ago, I thought it was.
Yeah, maybe that's a panel we should have one of these times to see how far down that rabbit hole we can dig.
Because I know there's probably scripture somewhere of that might have maybe been saved, maybe not at that time. But there's certain parts of the Bible that are not actually in the Bible, but when the Bible was actually put together, a lot of chapters were not put in there, and maybe it could be too that Mary might have even had a book of her own.
Well, the Ethiopian Bible still has the book of Enoch in it.
Right.
Look at Aussie's comments. He having holy trivia.
Elohim is gods or deities.
We're going to have a different trivia night.
You better pay attention, Aussie. We're gonna quiz you later. There's a quiz near the end. It's gonna cost you channel points.
Choose for God in the Old Testament. I see that a lot in here in my text.
Pardon?
So yeah, Elohim is a Hebrew word used in the Bible to refer to God. It is one of the most commonly used names for God in the Old Testament. Elohim, Jehovah, Yahweh, just to name a few.
No, that's why I said B'nai Elohim. Sons of God.
Elohim,
B'nai.
sons of God. Yeah, sons of God. Yes.
No, actually, I watched it was about a 4-hour-long thing on that, and they were going through from this guy's an actual biblical scholar, and he was going through all of the versions and the differences and where the like I said, not the parallels.
Seen that myself.
Pardon?
I would like to see that myself.
I should still have it. I'll take it and I'll send it to you. It's quite interesting. But like I said, the real twist on it is if what is in the Dead Sea Scrolls versus like the Old Testament, and you look at it from that standpoint, the B'nai Elohim should still be here then. If that's the case, yeah, okay, we're talking a whole different ballgame now. But then you're also stepping off into a religious standpoint that at this point in time can't be proven or unproven.
The Bible is the most complicated written book of all time, but yet it explains life. It explains the history of the world from the time of Moses onward. There's not
Depending
much was
on
written
context.
before
Well, yeah.
Moses anyway.
I was going to say most was written by Moses anyway. So,
yeah.
But one thing I want to point out real quick is when you're looking at the Bible, now Chaplin's probably got footnotes down on the bottom. If you ever look at a state statutes, you probably got footnotes somewhere on underneath the law, that says referred to state stat, let's say, we'll say Wisconsin 1935, which is open records law. It'll probably have something else. Well, may not exceed state statute 1935 or 1925 or something of that nature. That's how usually the Holy Bible is. It will refer you to certain other pages of the Bible that may refer to that verse in general.
Yeah, it's cross-referencing.
Yes.
No, I understand that, but there was that's the one thing I was talking about, though. It had kind of puzzled me. But like I said, that's another time for another discussion. But that'd be interesting.
Love to have that discussion. You know
that would be a good discussion. Definitely a good discussion. I'll be interested to see what you have to say on tonight on that, because I actually looked into some of that. Like, what's the difference between a Philistine and a Palestinian? Some of the things that I've seen on that.
Robert, that's Huey. That's, of course, me. Forget that guy. And then there's Gary.
That's Gary. I thought you were working on your message.
I already got
actually
it
are.
Oh, that's good.
We actually are, Miss Tony. We got it all under control.
He says we actually are. Got it all under control. We're working on the message today, dear.
Yeah, I can see that. Oops.
Ouch.
You want anything?
She hit my headphone.
You want anything?
Ouch. You injured me.
He did require a request of taters, a nice long steak, and some good. Let's see, for a vegetable, let's go with some more extra helping of potatoes.
Okay, Gary, you're going to have to repeat that because she didn't hear it. So I'm going to turn this headset off.
You got it off now? So Chaplain requested for supper potatoes, a nice long steak.
I lost him.
Really? Man, this is important. Otherwise, just give her the headset, Chaplain.
Okay, do it again.
So Chaplain requested earlier, Miss Tony, that he have taters, a nice long steak, and for a vegetable, we just figured that maybe just a little extra helping of potatoes.
Yeah, but potato is not a vegetable.
Huh?
Taters and you said steak?
Yep, taters and steak.
You know how I feel about taters and steak.
And then instead of a vegetable, extra taters?
Yep, that'll work.
Well, we'll argue about that one.
I think he's ordering his meal and not Chaplain.
Huey, hush.
Rethink your lineup, son.
Man, I've been busted by Huey. Thanks a lot, brother.
I mean, a few taters and steak is one thing, but extra taters is no.
Oh, man. Hard crowd tonight.
Sorry.
Bummer.
This diabetic
Denied.
kept straight.
The lead balloon just dropped. Clank.
Taters is good stuff.
Steak and taters we can do, but not extra taters.
Oh, man.
Well, if you're going to go with root vegetables, you got to go with carrots then.
Oh my God. I'm going to go get busy on the bills.
That's not steak.
Time I get done with it, your steak might be bologna.
Oh, please don't do that to that poor steak.
You'll get your steak a la McDonald's quarter pounder with cheese and your taters a la French fries.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll have it my way.
Somehow
Right
it
on,
does
Aussie.
that.
Don't worry, Gary. I'll pray for taters for you. Oh, you're awesome.
Well, that's better than soggy toast.
Right.
Yeah, but you're speaking of a food versus a weapon.
Anybody want a cat?
No. No.
No, Carmen won't let me have another animal.
But he's so precious.
She's already dealing with me, so that's more than enough. And I don't even get petted.
That's tough. It's a swift foot out the doors and go make the money. Yeah, it's illegal, dear. I can only crank that handle so many times.
I agree, dear.
I'll pray for potatoes for you. Make sure it's according to the will of God.
Right. That's important.
No. Chaplain, I got to have to disagree with you there. We were given free will, guy. So it's
Yeah.
all on you.
Robert, unfortunately, made a very strong point. Robert's been paying attention. Darn it, Robert.
Robert's a man of many, shall we say, topics. And
But
stuff.
if you pray,
Right.
well, it doesn't mean you're going to get what you want. He knows the difference between an earnest prayer and a selfish one.
Yes.
You would be in heaven here, Gary. Germany is a potato land.
What was that, Huey?
You would be in heaven here. Germany is a potato eating land.
Oh, I'm in potato eating land in Wisconsin because we grow a lot of our taters here, and we don't get so many Idaho potatoes or anywhere else. We got plenty of them here.
Michigan's got the Michigan red potatoes. It's grown pretty much in the center of the state.
Every once in a while, we will get some baby reds, but mostly all our potatoes are pretty much, I think they're all russets. I think a majority of them are.
Mm-hmm. They're good too.
Yep.
Especially the cheese.
Right.
Wisconsin cheese is second to none.
Ask and you shall receive. I got this sorted, Gary. Awesome.
That's true. I can't deny it.
Ooh, I bet that was a good one. I should watch that one. Shit.
What?
Different genetic traits, different subspecies, races, biological, the science of human diversity. Woo! I bet that was a hot topic.
One on there.
Yeah,
much
indeed,
sleep?
Lynn.
How much sleep?
Go ahead, Huey.
How much sleep you grab yourself in between the shifts? Not that much, eh?
Oh.
For me, we actually did sleep when we were over at our first stop. Was it no? Our second stop. We could grab some sleep, And we got probably our first stop. We probably got a little over, almost about an hour of sleep, and then we got probably about another 2 hours of sleep over at our second stop, and then we got after 4 o'clock p.m. Central Daylight Time. Then we'll be back on the road to get to St. Cloud, and then we unload at 2300 tonight. And so then I'll probably sleep while we're waiting for that appointment time.
Oh, we lost Chaplin.
Yep.
I should probably shut this thing down and get around myself anyway. So,
Yeah, it's a good chat today.
You come back at the right time for me to let you know that I'm going to be shutting down there, Chaplin.
Yeah, my computer went crazy here for a second, but it's back on.
All right. Well,
I agree with you guys in the private part.
Yeah.
Great.
I'll make a note to make sure my ass. I'll have Paul keep my ass awake so I can make sure I'm at your thing this evening because I want to hear that. Everybody in chat, thanks for hanging out. Uwe, Gary, Chaplin, thanks for coming up. Good discussions today.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Good to be with everybody on a panel for since a long time.
Oh yeah.
Well,
It's been a while.
A lot of things going on in the world, Gary.
Yeah, I'm well aware of it, but pretty much a lot of times you're either streaming like way in the early mornings, or usually sometimes it's on the weekends when I'm really busy.
Oh yeah. Well, that's the thing, you know. We all got shit going on, that's for sure.
That we do.
Everybody in chat, thanks for hanging out. Chaplin, I will see you later. Gary, I will see you later. Uwe, I will see you later tomorrow.
Yeah.
2 hours and 13 minutes. I'll be on.
Take care, everybody. Was a great.
And everyone, don't forget to support your taters and make sure you peel them good, mash them, bake them, however you want to prepare them. They're delicious.
That's right.
Yeah.
Taters are their own food group. I'll say that right here now.
Exactly. Amen to that.
All right. Have a good one, everybody.
You guys all take care. We'll be out of
See you
here.
guys later.
3, 2, 1.
Here we go. Boom.
Later.
Like that.
Okay, that was the panel. And the topics were not things I can really add to. Let me check Facebook. Okay, that's quiet. So I will quit Facebook. Thanks for watching and sharing. Well, you don't hear this of course, but if you check in back later how it went and you shared, thank you. Okay, Facebook down.